Dear Venerable sisters and brothers, Dhamma friends, this is the time for our day's question and answer session for the Dhamma discussion. So today also we are going to conduct it in English medium. So I cordially invite him to present the questions already available in written form, and meanwhile I invite everyone, those who are participating, if they have any questions or statements or topics suitable for the moment, please come out with. Meanwhile, while we are conducting this discussion, so that is also kept open. So we will anyway start with what is already written.
Bhante, we have here this on the introduction CD this morning. Samadhiya issarahin tabanna epa, satya issarahin tabanna. So just can you please explain this concept a little more?
The question is that why it has been instructed to keep the mindfulness as the foremost and not the concentration. And the explanation for that is that whenever you are observing the order that the Buddha has presented, it says Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. They have their own dependent on the origination or chain action. As far as the Saddha, the faith is there, that particular person has enough energy to do something. So therefore the faith initiating the energy faculty. Energy is the proximate factor for the concentrate, the mindfulness, the sati to arise. So therefore, once you become mobilized, when you have enough energy, then you can maintain the vigilance or close observation or mindfulness, diligence, and therefore energy aspect is the proximate cause for the mindfulness. And once the mind becomes mindful, naturally it becomes concentrated. In other words, mindfulness is the proximate factor for the concentration to arise. And once the concentration happens, you see things as they are. So this is the way it is being presented. And when you analyze the Noble Eightfold Path, it says Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Samma Vayama means that the correct energy, and then that it leads to mindfulness. And once the mindfulness come into a certain degree, it leads to concentration. So therefore, respecting the order, one has to take care about one's own energy, and that is, if it is assured, mindfulness will be there. And that is the most proximate factor for the mindfulness to arise. So once you become mindful, it is not necessary to have a special effort to develop concentration. Naturally, mindfulness leads to concentration. That is why it says, instead of the concentration, take care about mindfulness, and ultimately you will gain the concentration that is the concentration that is your desire. That is why it is in the instruction it says, take care about the mindfulness, and concentration will naturally set in.
So Bhante, can I ask a little question about it? So when I'm doing that, the morning, the sitting, so you sitting on the posture, sitting posture, so you are not focusing a particular place. So you said to be aware what is happening around you and keep the mind inside. My question is, do you have to focus, I'm just talking about the very beginning of the meditation, do we have to focus a particular place in the body, or because sometimes the mind is loose and just go away, or sometimes you fall to sleep? It happened a couple of times before. So my question is, at the very beginning, just to bring the awareness, and is there a place to watch?
In order to understand, I have to go one step earlier. That what made me to give that instruction was that in your case you are trying to catch hold and chase behind the in-breath and out-breath. Ultimately it becomes forced breathing, and breathing and the mind and the body become agitated, and ultimately you get exhausted, or you develop the doubt whether should I go to the rising and falling of the abdomen or the breath, and sometimes rising and falling give kind of concentration or calm down. Oh, that is the question. That is why I thought take one step back and be aware of the breath, the body. Then you sit comfortably. Keeping the attention in the body means you are not extrovert, you become introvert. You try to understand what is happening in the body. And whatever the object arises within the body is a very good object for you, or an object of meditation. So while you're observing, you have to see if the breathing going to draw your attention, why not? You can focus upon the breathing. But you are not chasing behind it, you are not waiting for that, you are not expecting it. If the rising and falling happen, that you select according to its occurrence. And therefore you have to be very patient and let the object to come and prove itself. Till that you have the vigilance, you have the diligence, you have the mindfulness and the awareness as to keep the attention within the body, and whatever the object arises, in form of breathing, maybe some pain, sometimes some kind of rising and falling in the abdomen or breath. So that is, you have to go by the prominency of the object, the grossness of the object. So therefore, you are waiting but not decided yet. Let the object to come and prove this is the most prominent, this is the most gross object. So in that sense, when you observe in the body, when you observe within, not here and there, that is also a task. What is the most prominent experience you get, what you feel inside the body?
What I notice most of the time is that the sound of silence, say like, can hear that what's happening around, but that's a one sitting, so it's...
No, that you have to define the sound of silence. Sound of silence means not what is happening around. Sound of silence means something happening, if I get the term correctly, arising within your body. So in your early statement also, you say you are aware of what is happening around. No, it is not the matter. That is the thing you are prevent. You try to see, you try to focus what is happening within the body. So within the body, as far as you are successful, what is the kind of experience that will be guiding? What do you experience when you are, after good walking meditation, come and sit symmetrically and relaxed way and try to be aware here, now I am sitting. Or be in the present moment. Or try to see the power of now. And we are observing what is the experience, and that I can share, but if you can't communicate with me about the experience you get it, my simple advice is go by the priority, go by the grossness of the object, whatever it is arising within the limits of the body.
Isn't that what you feel like you're sitting on the cushion, so you feel that, that's touch on the cushion, so then one sometimes goes to your concentrate, the anapanasati, the breathing, and then it goes some thoughts, then it's come back. So it's like whatever happening in the few area you're watching, or you're not focusing directly to the one point.
Leave aside the focusing, the way, the information you gave, at a time you experience the touching points, at a time you feel the in-breath and out-breath, at a time mind is wandering into thoughts. Compared to that, your early experience when you are trying to focus on the breath become gross, body become gross, and you get exhausted. When compared to that, which one is more comfortable, which one is more productive? So we are giving an alternative and try to compare it with experience which is leading to calm and quite collected. And that is the way we must proceed. When you go further, selecting this least frictional path, it will lead in more and more subtle states. So therefore, first and foremost, you have to understand early method you applied is wrong because this is agitating. Instead, now mind is not focused but not agitated, not getting exhausted. So therefore, I feel, according to the information, this is better. Keep on practicing, and while practicing, you can see what is the most frequent visitor. Is it touching point, or the breath, or thoughts, whatever may be. But the touching point and the breath is a valid object because it is within the body, but the thoughts are outward, so we don't entertain it, we don't care about the thoughts, and we try to see which one is more worth anchoring.
Yes, the breath.
So let the breath happen. Only difference is earlier you was chasing behind. Now breath will come and prove that is the frequent visitor and worth or trustworthy to take it as an object of meditation, and let that first step, I mean the letting the breath to come and prove, and then only you are going to observe the breath. Till that you isolate the breath from the other objects. Once that come and become face to face, then only you are going to see how much is the in-breath and how much is the out-breath. When the out-breath happen, no in-breath, not the in-breath happen, no out-breath. And what are the characteristics like? It gradually, slowly going into the deep, plunging into the object and going to give more and more natural characteristics. So the point what I am going to make it is here, it must be very gradual, very straightforward, and leading episodes other than jumping and going to catch something far beyond.
Go to the next question. I got when whereas stone or hard when I got when cover a stone or hard surface pressed onto my feet. I think probably looks like a walking meditation. I saw pain started as it touched. Venerable Bhante, I started my walking meditation on a long stretch. Therefore, I marked 2 trees as my destination. I started concentrating on left and right. Gradually I found lifting, moving forward and keeping on the ground. Continuing on that, I felt like another 2 legs moving in front of me, and my 2 legs are attached to those and moving alone. Also, I realized that when I come to end point without any thoughts, I automatically turn back even without thinking. Next, I try to see how I do that. I saw that when I see the sign, brain work on a preconceptual mode or program structure. Number 2. Next day I did walking meditation without shoes. I started concentrating on left and right, then moved to lifting and place, and after some time started watching lifting, moving forward and placing on ground. There I started looking at the pain. I got it when I wear there's a stone or hard surface pressed onto my feet. I saw pain started as it touched. It increased when the whole body stand on it, and pain released when I lift my leg. I identify that as Dhamma you taught us. Touch gives a sign. Touches give a sign and feeling. Kindly let me explain while meditating when it is good to relate to the Dhamma we learn with metta.
I would like to know, it's an explanation for me, early session of meditation is something lacking, huge vacuum. That means, in arithmetical term, you have written the sum, you have worked it out, and you have not given the answer. That means you have not given me, but you experience in left and right. When you are experiencing in lifting and dropping, but you are experiencing lifting, moving, dropping. So early parts very good explanation, but the pith, the sap, the essence is missing. The second session, little bit of explanation is there when you are standing on or stepping on the hard surface. You can feel the pain, and the remarkable feature was that you are without shoes. So therefore, for my understanding, the second session is more fruitful, more down to earth. And even then, if the questioner can include his or her experience, under the nose experience, that is the one giving the essence of this interview or for this question and answer session. And instead asking, when can I include my rational mind, my deductive knowledge, and that means I feel the direct knowledge, the experience, the direct touch is not being treated properly, and it has, even if it is experience, it is not being included in the explanation. That means giving more value for the deductive knowledge rather than the direct touch. So that is the worst case, that you can mislead the mind to your theoretical knowledge, deductive knowledge, rational knowledge, and ultimately you are hindering, you are mistreating, you are behaving toward the direct touch. So don't do it. Try to get as much as possible the direct touch or under the nose experience. And not only that, most important point is you are relating to your experience, your interviews. When you are writing, you must include this as the essence of your experience, the pith of your experience. And if it is lacking, even your experience, if you can't express it, the communication won't take place. Instead, you are bound to get the taste of deductive knowledge. I think that is not vipassana. I mean, it is mistreating vipassana. Therefore, try to keep the direct touch as much as possible. Definitely, I will assure you, the deductive knowledge will follow. Yogi has nothing to intentionally promote deductive knowledge. Deductive knowledge is such a habitual thing, addiction, you can't do away with it. Therefore, you must understanding this situation, you must as much as possible give the priority for the direct touch, and not only understanding, not only experiencing, not only getting this direct touch, but most important thing is how can you relate in your interviews? How can you tell others what you experience under your very nose? And this is how your mind become more brushed, your mind become more mobilized, mind become more ready for the next walking meditation to pick more and more direct touch, the essence, the natural characteristic. The individual characteristic on the left leg movement, right leg movement, the heel, the middle, and the end toes, and how it relates to the ankle, and how it relates to the knees, how it relates to the upper part area. All these are waiting to come out, unless otherwise mistreat it, unless otherwise don't regard them. So therefore don't worry about the Dhamma advices or deductive knowledges or rational knowledge, they will come. Keep on practicing. Therefore I appreciate the second part of the second session of the walking meditation is much improved than the early one. And if these kind of experience happen, don't write anything on the first set of session, give the maximum, the best session, then easy for me to understand. And therefore don't waste time to talk about the wrong walking session you did in the early part, the first session. That is not the one. The second thing is the only one giving the information. And next time when you do walking meditation, catch as much as possible natural characteristics, as much as possible by personal characteristics of the individual events, and you may find the object and the walking, the object or object means the walking left leg and the right leg, and the observing mind will be very close so that there won't be much of distraction from the outside. So only the lacking thing when I'm listening, hearing, is that lack of respect for this essence, lack of respect for Dhamma sap, natural characteristics or individual characteristic. In the next session of walking meditation, try to pick as much as possible whenever they are ready, whenever they are face to face.
There is two questions very similar together, so I just put together.
Yeah.
Please explain the difference between sati and samadhi. Next one, according to the book Power of Now, be a present moment, is it similar to sati? And the next, another person asking very similar question. Present moment, mama dan metana, just means it's not allowing your mind to run away here and there and keep in a one place, or tamunda tamanna feel weemada. Karunakara pahada.
Singaling කියන්නු.
මම දැන් මෙතන යනුවෙන් අදහස් කළේ සිත එහිමේ දුවන්නට නොදී මෙතනම තබා ගැනීමද නැත්නම් තමන්ට තමන්න ෆීල් වීමද? කරුණාකර පැහැදිලි කර දෙන්න.
Two questions are separate, so we'll tackle the first one. The first one is a theoretical, basically, but usually I have not take time much of the theory, but it is something comparing the mindfulness versus the concentration. So therefore, in order to give the real picture, we are just comparing the mindfulness versus the concentration, the sati versus the samadhi. So that's the very beginning that I explained. The sati is leading to samadhi, and the sati is be aware of, be awakened to the present moment, or be aware of the present moment. And therefore, sati, whatever it may be the object, if you, as and when it arises, if you can be aware of, that means sati is there. But the concentration to happen, the object must be the same. You must be applying the mind to the same object. Otherwise, when the objects are changing, mindfulness, the sati will be maintained, but you doubt, is this the kind of concentration? Is this the conventional concentration? So therefore, conventional concentration, samatha samadhi, is usually you take one particular object and apply mind again and again there, and then the mindfulness is there. The continuity of mindfulness going to give the absorption and more close relationship with the object, and that collect and calm on the object is a concentration. But be aware that you are face to face with the object, or be aware of the present moment, be aware of the present phenomena is the mindfulness. So therefore you have to understand mindfulness is leading to concentration, and mindfulness is the one you can take responsibility about. But once the mindfulness is taken the momentum, concentration will set in. So therefore, taking chance or taking responsibility over the mindfulness, as a busy lay people, wherever you may be, whatever may be the object arises, if you are aware, you can be happy, you can be glad that your mindfulness is there. But the concentration to happen, you must sit in one place, our external atmosphere must be controlled, and you apply the mind again and again to the same object, and even then the mindfulness is leading, and you get more absorbed to the object. That is what the concentration. So in the busy life, you have very little conducive conditions for the concentration to arise. I mean the conventional concentration. But if you develop the art of mindfulness, wherever changing objects, still you can be mindful. And whenever the mind falls calm and quiet on even the changing object or even single object, later you can develop so-called vipassana concentration that is very dramatic. Even in the changing objects you can do. So therefore, that is why it make me to say, take care about the mindfulness, and ultimately whether it is samatha samadhi or vipassana samadhi, whatever it may be, arise according to the circumstances. So therefore, understanding the difference between the concentration and mindfulness is necessary, is important. And after understanding, give the priority to the mindfulness, and then slowly, once the mindfulness get the momentum, concentration will set in. So concentration is kind of falls calm and collected on the particular object. Mindfulness means be aware of the present moment.
So that's one answer. අවසාන සාරාංශයේ පොඩ්ඩක් සිංහලෙන් මේ වැඩිදිනකොට අපි ආසයි සිංහල ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගේ වචන ආදරේ නිසා මානලා ඉංග්‍රීසි කිව්වට පස්සේ එක වචන සාරාංශය
එහෙම නෝ පුළුවන් මොකද සෙෂන් එක ඉවරනකොට මගේ මෙමරි එක ගිහිල්ලා so they are, you know what they are talking about now they say that please give a briefing in Sinhala
ඉංග්‍රීසි කන් දිනවා කට්ටිය සිංහල මනක් කන්න ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ
yes, so ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්න සිංහලෙන්ද තියෙන ඉස්සෙල්ලා
English. Second question, according to
නෑ මේ කියපු එක ප්‍රශ්න සිංහලෙන් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියවන්නකෝ ප්‍රශ්නේ.
First one, Bhante, please explain the difference between sati and samadhi.
සති සමාධි කියන දෙක චෛතසික දෙකක්. සතියෙන් කරන්නේ එළඹිච්ච තත්ත්වයට පැමිණිච්ච තත්ත්වයට එළඹ සිටීම. ඒක තෝරන්නේ පැමිණිච්ච කොහොමද අද්ද නරකද්ද හරිද වැරදිද යුක්තිද අයුක්තිද නෑ පැමිණි දෙයට එළඹ සිටීමයි වර්තමානට එළඹ සිටීමයි. සමාධිය කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකාග්‍රතාවය ඒකෝදි භාවය ඒ අරමුණටම නිමග්න වෙන එකයි. මේ සතිය පිට ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනස් වෙන අරමුණු තියේදී නමුත් සමාධියක් ගන්න සම්මත සමාධිය ගන්න අරමුණ එකක්ම වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා ජීවිතයක් ගත කරන කාර්යබහුල කෙනෙකුට එකම අරමුණක් දිහා බලන ඉන්න වෙලාවක් හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැති නිසා එවැනි කෙනෙකුට අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා භවනා ලෝකෙට පිවිසෙන්න සතිය ආරා. සතියෙන් කරන්නේ පැමිණෙන ඕනෑම දෙයක් වර්ගීකරණයකින් නැතුව පූර්ණික මොළෙන් තොරව වෙත එළඹ සිටීම. නමුත් එහෙම කෙනෙකුට වුණත් එහෙම බොහෝ අරමුණු විශේෂයි ඉනේන චිත්තක්ෂණයේ සතිමත් වීම හරහා විපස්සනා සමාධිය කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ විපස්සනා සමාධිය හුඟක් සතිය දිනුවට එනවා. ඒ නිසා එහෙම කෙනෙකුට උනත් ඉස්සරහට අර සමථ සමාධිය හරහා යන කෙනෙක් එක්ක යන ගමනට ජෝඩු වෙලා යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා සති සමාධි කියන දෙක වෙන්කොට හඳුනා ගැනීම යෝගාවචරයට වැදගත් වෙනවා. මම සාමාන්‍ය මේ වගේ මේ මූල ධර්ම ප්‍රශ්න ගන්නෑ. මේ භාවනා කරන ප්‍රතිශත නම් සත්‍යයත් එක්ක සංසන්දනයක් කරන්න නිසා මම මේ ප්‍රශ්නට එළඹුණා. අනිත් ප්‍රශ්නේ.
According to the book Power of Now, be a present moment, is it similar to sati?
Power of Now is given by Eckhart Tolle, and he has written the book Power of Now. And whenever Jnanakonika, the German monk, he has written Power of Mindfulness. I see both are the same. Power of Now and Power of Mindfulness, because mindfulness is be awakened to the present moment. So it's exactly the same thing, but both of them are coming from the West Hemisphere. But the Eckhart Tolle has no kind of a Buddhist background, and his all examples are extracted from the Bible. But instead, when Jnanakonika, he has written Power of Mindfulness, he has reduced as much as possible, but whatever the examples or quotation from the Tipitaka, so when you read it, you find the same concept. ඒක දාලා තියෙනවා සනසුමට මඟ කියලා. ඒ Power of Now කියන පොත ඒක කිරුවේ කැන්බරාලා ඉන්න අපේ කාර්යවසම් කෙනෙක් නෑ. හේව විතරන කෙනෙක්. ඒක දැම්මට පස්සේ ඒ power of now කියන එක දැම්මට පස්සේ සිංහලට ඒක කියවපු උග දෙනෙක් ඒනෝන මහතර බැන්නා මේ කතෝලික පොතක් සිංහලට දාලා. ඊට පස්සේ මට කියලා තමයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේ මෙල්බන් වල අච්චු ගහන පහන පත්‍රේ බැලලා දාලා තිනවා මේ ලංකාවෙන් ගිය මිනිස්සු ලංකාවේ තියෙන බුද්ධ ධර්ම කණ්ඩා හදනවා. මේ කතෝලික පොත පරිවර්තනය කරලා තියෙන ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ පුළුවන් මත ප්‍රකාශයක් කරන්න ග්‍රන්ථ විවේචනයක් කරන්න කියලා. ඊපස්සේ මම লীලා හිටියා පුළුවන් නම් මේ පොත අරගෙන 10 12කට බෙදලා දෙන්න. මේක නියමයටම සත්‍ය විස්තර කරනවා. ඒ නිසා මේක මෑත කාලේදී වෙච්ච හොඳ වැඩක් කියලා. ඊපස්සේ ඒක ඇත්තටම වෙබ් එකට කියලා තිබුණා, පබ්ලිෂ් වෙලා තිබුණේ නැහැ. කොහොම හරි ඒ කට්ටිය දිගටම ඒ කතෝලික පොත් ටික දැන් පරිවර්තනය කරගෙන යනවා. ඒක නිසා කෙනෙකුට මේ සංකර ජීවිතයක් ගත කරන කෙනෙකුට සිහියේ බලමයි මේ කියලා බුද්දිස් පබ්ලිකේෂන් සොසයිටි එකේ ඥානපෝණි කාමරලිය පොතත් වර්තමාන මොහොතේ බලය නැත්නම් power of now කියන එක කට්ටියක පොත් දෙකේම එකම අදහස තමයි දෙවිදිකට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ. දෙකම මම හිතනවා රෙකමන්ඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කියන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
අන්තිම සැලසමට මගලියකින් කැන්බරාවේ නෑ. ඒ අපස්පෙන් වලකට වුණා.
yes ප්‍රිස්පෙන් මම ආපහු ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරා. ඒගේ තාත්තා ඉන්නේ මේ නිව්සීලන්ත වල බැඳ මේ හම්සාන්ට බැඳලා ඉන්නේ සුදු එක්කෙනෙක්. දුවත් එක්ක කන ගන්න ඇවිල්ලා මයිත් එක්ක කතා කරා. මේ ඒකට ගෙන්න නයි කාටෝලේ ගෙන්න ලෙවල්ලා සාකච්ඡා කරා. බ්‍රිස්බේන් වල ගාන. හොඳයි.
The next question. Dear Bhante, when I meditate, I started to observe the breath. It started long breath in and out for the first at least 20 minutes. I know short breath in and out when I get pain in my leg. When the pain is gone, the breath is medium, not long at the beginning. A few seconds later, the breath seems do not present. I try to observe, then I see the breath is still there. My question is the length of the breath is change from time to time? Next one, the body is easy to get pain, but only I know through meditation.
Okay, the latter part is not clear. Body is?
The body is easy to get pain, but only I know through meditation. So it's like a statement.
Yes, early part also asking after meditation, breath becomes shorter and shorter, and why is it? What is the question? I can't remember. Whatever may be, if you are explaining your own experience, don't entertain doubts. Prove it by another observation, then you can see what the Buddha has mentioned. At the beginning you have the long in-breath and out-breath, but don't do it. You just observe the breath, natural breath, without forced breathing. And when you're observing the breath, maybe amidst of all the other distractions like pain and sounds and the thoughts, but whatever may be, if you keep the chronological understanding or observation of the breath, maybe it is increasing the length or maybe reducing the length. So you are the one to experience it and get the confirmation. And as far as you are a meditator, don't expect or don't ask another person to confirm you this is happening and that is happening. So, of course, at the beginning we have to discuss this kind of thing in the theoretical way. But when you have any kind of doubts, I can give an encouragement, do it again and again. If it is reducing, that you have to confirm by yourself. But don't try to reduce forcefully. Don't try to do long breath at the beginning. And that is a kind of messing up. That is a kind of forking fingers. Just let the breath to happen and keep the breath face to face as much as possible and see how is the chronological change or evolution or metamorphosis of the breath as the time passes. And if you have any doubt, the best way is to rectify the doubt is to practice again and again. By practicing, you will do away with the doubts, and ultimately the confidence, the mental power will be for the benefit of your practice. And what is happening is appear to be normal.
My ප්‍රශ්න සිල් ගැන ගරුතර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ අටසිල් සමාදන් සිටින අප අතින් හදිසියේ එක් සිල් පදයක් බිඳුණු බව වැටහුණොත් උදාහරණ අමතක උස්සාසනයක වාඩි වූ සැනින් මතක් වී ඒන් වැළකීම වාදනය වන ගීත කණ්ඩයක් සමන් යොමි ටික වේලාවක් එහි මත් වී දෙවනුව සතිය පිහිටුවා හික්මීම සවස ගිරම්පත් සමග අමතක වී චිතප කැලලක් කැම වැනිදී මෙවන් අවස්ථාවක සිල් පදයක් බිඳුණු බව වැටහුණොත් ඕ සැකසිතුනොත් ඒ ශික්ෂා පදයේ පමණක් මනසින් මුමුණමින් නැවත සමාදන් වීම සෑහේද නොයසේනම් සම්පූර්ණ සිල් පද අටම නැවත සමාදන් වී යුතුද දුක්ඛෙන් වාසේ නමක් නොමැතිව අපට තනිව එය පිළිසකර කරගත හැකිද අපගේ කර්මාවෙන් විස්තර කර දෙපා
ප්‍රශ්න තුන් පැත්තක් තියෙනවා. පළවෙනි එක තමයි ඒ විදිහට උසාසනක වාඩි වීම චේතනාපූර්වකව කෙරේ නැත්නම් මේ වාඩි වෙච්ච ගමන් තාන්න වැරදිලක පිළියම් කරාන මෙතන සිල්පදේ කැඩෙන්නේත් නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් අර කියන විදිහට සංගීත රාගයක් ඇහෙනවා. Taman ගිහිල්ලා ඒක යන්ත්‍රය ඕපන් කරලා අහනව නෙවෙයි. එහෙමනම් සිල්පදේ කැඩෙන්නේත් නැහැ. නමුත් වෙනකොටම Taman දන්නවනම් ඒකේ බලපුණා නම් ඒත් මං හිතනවා සිල්පදේ කැඩලා නැහැ කියන පැත්තට බොහෝ විට හේතු කාරණා තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අර වගේ කණ්ඩ වටින් නැති දෙයක් යන පුරුද්දකට කෑවා. කනකොටම තමයි තේල් එක නතර කරා නම් ඊට පස්සේ ඒක පළවෙනි පාර්ට් එක. ඒක නිසා තමයි බලන්න ඕන මොන චේතනාවෙන්ද මේ කටයුත්ත වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒ චේතනාවෙන් තමයි පේනවා ඒක අර අබ්බැහියට පුරුද්දට උණයි කියලා. තමයි පිළිබඳව අනුකම්පා කරගන්න එක අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. මේ භාවනා කරනකොට තමන් මෛත්‍රී කරගැනීම. එහෙම නැතුව තමන් පිළිබඳව සැක, තමන් පිළිබඳව චෝදනා, තමන් පිළිබඳව යුක්තිය පසින්දලන්න ගියොත් කවදාකවත් මේ හිත කය දෙක සමතුලිත කරන්න බෑ. ඒ නිසා සෑහෙන දුරට අනුකම්පා කරන දෙක ශිල්පදයක් කරනොත් අටම සමාදන් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒ බුරුමේදී හැමදාම බණ කියනකොට ශිල්ප සමාදන් කරෝ. හැම කෙනාටම. නමුත් එහෙම නැත්තම් කරන්න තියෙන ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් විචුණාංශ නමක් ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා කියලා ශිල්පදේ 18ම සමාදන් වෙන්න දැන් Tamanටම අදිෂ්ඨාන කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ අදිෂ්ඨාන කරනකොට උගක් වෙලාවට බලන්නේ ශිල්පදේ කඩලාද කැඩිලාද කියලා. කඩලා නම් තමයි ඒකේ ඒ නපුරු විපාක ලැබෙන්නේ. කැඩිලා නම් අදිෂ්ඨානයක් ගන්න ඕනේ ඉස්සරහට මං කැඩෙන්නේ නැති වෙන ඒක අරසා වෙන්න ඕනේ. ශිල්පද නැවත සමාදන් වෙන්න. So this is something related to the 8 precepts. The question is if you happen to sit on a higher seat or happen to listen to a good piece of music or eaten some kind of thing, kind of dessert or something like that afternoon. So when it happens, the particular question is entertaining doubts. Should I renew my precepts, or if it is so, should I renew only that precepts? So I analyze it in the three ways. First thing is whether it will be broken if you sit on the ground on a higher seat intentionally, otherwise accidentally if you sit and immediately if you understand it, I don't think much of a break of the precepts, because ultimately the decision is on your intention. And the second thing is listening music. Happen to listen, no problem. But if you are initiating, that you are committing. Otherwise, eating something also, if you happen due to a habitual, for the first time, you can sympathize yourself, but don't make a mistake, don't make a chance to do it again and again. And if it is so, sympathize yourself, make a determination not to happen it again, and either you yourself or with the help of a spiritual figure, you can renew the precepts. And you are renewing, it must be renewed, all the 8 precepts at one shot.
සම්මානතුමි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න ගන්නවා. අපිට හිතෙන දේවල් වලට අපිට පව සිදු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් දැන් අපි හිතමු කරපු පවක් අපිට විතර මතක් වෙනවා. ඔක්කොම එතකොට ඒක එක පාරක් ගින් ආයෙත් පැය භාගින් ආයෙත් එහෙම ආවා කියලා ඒක අපිට නැවත පවක් සිදුවීමක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ සිතුවිල්ලක් පමණයි.
එවැනි දෙයක් නැවත ශීපත් වෙනවා කියලා හිත කනගාටුනොත් පවක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. කන එතන ඒ සැකයක් විචිකිච්ඡාවක් ඇති කරගත්තොත් විචිකිච්ඡා ගැන නිවන්න ඒකට පවක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. නමුත් Taman මේ හිතවිල්ල එනකොට මේ හිතවිල්ල මම නෙවෙයි, මේක මගේ නෙවෙයි, මේක මගේ ආත්මය නෙවෙයි. නමුත් ඒකේ තියෙන ජඩකමට ඒක එනවා කියලා හිතවිල්ලක් ආවට හිතක් නැති කෙනෙක් වගේ. සද්දය වුණට බීරෙක් වගේ ඒ හිතවිල්ලට ඒක අගේ ආඩම්බරය කරන්නේ නැතුව අයින් කර ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් නීවරණයකට ඉඩ දෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. ද්වේෂයකට එන්න විදියක් නැහැ. එතකොට ඒ හිතවිල්ල නිකන් වඳ බහපු එකක් වෙනවා. ගබ්ස වෙච්ච එකක් වෙනවා. ඇටි හැලිච්ච එකක් වෙනවා. නමුත් ඒ හිතවිල්ල ගැන වොරි කරන්න ගත්තොත් නම් අකුසල. ඒක නිසා හරි අමාරුයි. අපි පුරුදු කරලා තියෙන්නේ හිතවිල්ලක් ගැන වොරි කරන එක සදාචාරය කියලා. ඇත්තටම හිතවිල්ල ගැන වොරි කරන එක නීවරණයක්. ඒ හිතවිල්ල කරන්න පුළුවන් කෙලසිල්ල සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ Taman එකත් එක්ක ප්‍රතික්‍රියා කරපු වෙලාවේ. ප්‍රතික්‍රියා නොකර හිතවිල්ලට මේ කණෙන් ඇවිල්ලා මේ කණෙන් යනවා වගේ යන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒ හිතවිල්ලට අපි කරදර කරන්නේත් නැහැ. ඒ හිතවිල්ල අපිට කරදර කරන්නේත් නැහැ. බටනලාවක් අසින් යන උලංගක් අන්තිමට සංගීතයක් කළ එළියට යනවා වගේ ඒ හිතවිල්ල ගියාමයි. කිසිම අපිව පොත්ත බීමක් කරන්නේත් නැහැ. ආඩම්බර වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. කනගාටු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ප්‍රතික්‍රියා කරන්නේත් නැහැ. ඉතින් එතෙන්ට යන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද හේතුව අපි හැම දෙයක්ම මල්ලේ දාගන්න පුරුදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. හිතන දේවල්, කරන දේවල් ඔක්කොම. ඒ නිසා හොඳට සතියෙන් නැවත ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න පුළුවන් මේක මම හිතුවද නැත්නම් වෙන වැඩක් කරනකොට හිතුණද හිතෙනවනම් ඒකෙන් එන්නේ නෑ බුදුජානක කියන චේතනාම් බික්කවේ කම්මං වදා. මෙතන චේතනාවක් නෑ කර්මයක් රසෙයි. නමුත් ඒක ගැන කනගාටු වෙන්නේ කියනවා කර්ම රසයට පටන් ගන්න. එතෙන් තමයි අපි අර අහක යන සර්පේ කුඩුක් වේදාගත්තා වගේ පශ්චාත්තාපේ නිති ඉතින්දි බලනකොට අපි කොච්චර දුක් වලට කැමතිද? අපි දුක් කරදර වලට කොච්චර කැමතිද කියනවා ළඟින් යන එකක් හරි කවන්නේ අල්ලගෙන මල්ලේ දාගෙන කට්ටියට පෙන්න මේ බලන්න මං හරි මේ බලන්න කියලා පෙන්න. ඉතින් වෙන්නේ මොකද අර දුකම අර පශ්චාත්තාපෙම බෝ වෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒ නිසා ඒව අපි කියන්නේ ගණන් නොගෙන සිටින. ඒව අපි ඒ වෙනකොට හිත මෙහෙවිය යුතු අරමුණක් හැම වෙලාවෙම සර්පබේස දීලා තියනවා හිතට. හිත මෙහෙතු අරමුණක් හිත නැත්නම් හිත අසරණයි. අර මේ යකයි කම්මල වගේ හිත හොයා විදිනා කියලා. ඒ නිසා මේ වෙලාවේදී හිතවිල්ලක් ඒ වගේ එනවනම් තමයි බලන්න ඕනේ තමන් මින්දට මානසිකාරය යොදන කර්මස්ථානේ මොකද්ද? ඒක නම කියලා කතා කර ආනාපාන සති භාවනා කරනවා ආශ්වාස ප්‍රශ්වාසයෙන් මෙනෙහි කරමින් සක්මන් කරනකොට හිතවිලි එනවනම් වම දකුණ කියලා මෙනෙහි කරමින් එනතන් එදිනදා කටයුත්තක් කරනකොට ඒ කරන කටයුත්තට මානසිකාරය යොදවලා විතක්කය යොදවලා මෙනෙහි කිරීම දොනකොට අර හිතවිලි වලට එන තියෙන ඉඩ අඩු වෙනවා නම් අනිත් වගේ උපක්‍රම හොයා ගන්න ඕනේ. හිතවිල්ල කාට හිතනක් කරගන්න නැති වෙන්නත් ඒ වෙනුවට උදාසීන අරමුණකට හිත මෙහෙවීම මානසිකාරය මෙදවීම පුරුද්දකුත් කරගත්තොත් ඒ හිතවිලි වදිනේ කාඩ වෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. හැබැයි එකක් තියෙනවා බුදු වුණත් හිතවිලි තියෙනවා. උදේජානන්සේ සායකතනක සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා විවේකීව මේ කැලේකට වෙලා ඉන්නකොට නිකමට කල්පනා වුණාලු මේ රජවරු ධාර්මික වෙනවා නම් අනේ මේ අහිංසක යමක් හම්ම කරන මිනිස්සුන්ට කොච්චර සාන්තිකර ජීවිතයක් ලැබෙයිද රජවරු අධාර්මික නිසා අර මිනිස්සුන්ට ටැක්ස් අරගෙන රජවරු කාමයට යොදවනවා යුද්ධයට යොදවනවා අර මිනිස්සු කොච්චර දුක් විඳිනවද කියලා රාජා භවතු ධර්මිකෝ කියනකොටම මාරයා කිව්වලු වෙවිලි ඉවර වෙලා ඕක තමයි කිව්වේ ගීගී අතරින්ද බෑ කියලා ඉඳලා රජකම කෙරුවා නම් ඉතින් හරිනේ දැන් උනත් කරන්න පුළුවන් මං එන්න සපෝට් එකට කියනකොටම මතක් වුණා මස්සිනා තමයි කියලා මාර මස්සිනා તો පාපි මාර කියලා එතකොට බුදුජානනාංශ මාරය අඳුනගත්ත ගම අන්තරස්ථාන වෙලා තියෙනවා. එතෙන් එනකම් බුදුහාම කල්පනා කරලා තියෙනවා. කනගාටු වෙලා නැහැ. ඒක සූත්‍රයක් විදිහට දේශනා කරලා තියෙනවා බුදු උනත් මේ හිත පාහරයි. හිත කියන්නේ හිතේ. අපේ තියෙන වැඩේ ඒක ඔය දැන ආකාර ළමෙන්ට උපැන්න සාතික ලියනවා මම තාත්තා කියලා. වරෙත් කියලා හම්බෙච්ච ළමයි. හතරමහිනා කතා දන්නවද අහලා තියෙනවද? හතරමහිනා එනකොට මේ දරුවා මිනිහා දරුවා නලනවා අනේ මගේ රත්තරන් පුතේ කියලා. ගෑණි දන්නවලු පුතා වෙන කෙනෙක් කියලා. ගෑණිට ඉනායනවලු අනේ මේ ඕල්ලාන්සේ. පුක්ලි තියන්න අන්නේ වගේ රත්තරන් පුතේ කියලා අරවලට ඇතුලේ ඉන්න ගෑණිට 4 හිනාලින් එකක් කරනවා. ඒ වගේ තමයි මේ හිතවිලි කියන ඒවා මේ අනුන්ගේ දරුවෝ. ඔගේ නලවගෙන නලවන්නත් එපා. කලබල වෙන්නත් එපා. මේ හිත කියන්නේ තෙත පහන් කැලක් වගේ. අවකාශයේ තියෙන ඔක්කොම මේ මොනවද පුස් උරා අරගෙන පුස් කරනවා. පහන් කැල ටෝස් කරලා තිබ්බනම් අවකාශයේ විස බීජ තිබ්බට වැටෙන්නේ නැහැ. තපස කියලා කියන්නේ පහන් ටෝස් කරන එක. මේ හිත තෙත කරලා තියනවා. තෙත කියන්නේ කෙලස්. මේක වියලවලා තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ. ඒකට විස බීජ දිනුනට ඇවිල්ලා මේකේ තැම්පත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, පදිංචි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. පහන් කැලේ විස බීජ වලට උපස්තරයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අච්චරම. ඉතින් තෙතවදින් තිබ්බොත් අපි විස බීජ වලට බැන්නට තෙත උනත් විරුණත් විස බීජ තියෙනවා. නමුත් ඇවිල්ලා පදිංචි වෙන්නේ තෙත උනොත් විතරයි. ඒ නිසා අපි මේ තපස් රකින්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ කෙලස් වියලවලා දානවා. කෙලස් වියලවලා දාලා එතකොට කෙලස් තියෙන තැනක ඉන්න පුළුවන් ආතුර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒක විරත් චිත්තයෙන් බලන්න. ලෝකේ හැමදාම කෙලස්. ඒකේ කවදාකවත් තැනක් නැහැ කෙලස් නැත්තනක් කියලා. නමුත් අපිට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ පහන් කැල ටෝස් කරලා තියාන හිටියොත් විස බීජ ගන්නවා අඩුයි. ඒක නිසා අපේ හිත පුදුම විදියට මේ වොරි කරන්න ආසයි. අහ කියන කරදර අරගෙන අඳු කියා පාන්න ආසයි. මේක තමයි බරපතලම අකුසලයි. ඒ නිසා ඒ වගේ නරක දෙයක් වුණාම නරක දෙයක් කියුණාම නරක දෙයක් හිතච්චාම කාටවත් කියන්න එපා. කියපුවා වෙන්නේ අනෙක් එකටත් කෙලෙසෙනවා. හොඳ දෙයක් කතා කරන්න. කර්මාවක් ගැන කතා කරන, මෛත්‍රියක් ගැන කතා කරන, විචි හොඳක් ගැන කතා කරන. ඒ නිසා තමන්ගේ කතාවේදී සෝකාන්ත කතා කරන මිනිසයාට මරණය සෝකාන්තයි. ලෝකේ ලියවිලා තියෙන නව කතාවල් ගත්තොත් 80ක් විතර සෝකාන්තයි. ඔය නව කතාව තමයි ක්ලාසික් තමයි. සෝකාන්ත මොකද මිනිස්සු හරිය කැමති මේ දුක ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. බුදුජානක කියනවා ඒක හුනියමක්. ඒක සාපයක්. ඒ මාසෙට වෙනම සාපයක් කරන්න කවුරුත් ඕනේ නැහැ. ඕනියම් කරන්නේ මාසෙ කොච්චරක්වත් කරන්නේ අර වැරදිච්ච දේවල්, පෙරදිච්ච දේවල්, කනවැන්දුම් කතා කියලා කියන්නේ. චරිචුරු කියලා කියන්නේ නැද්දකින් කියලා වැත් කරලා. එහෙම කියන මිනිහත් ඕනේ නැහැ. නැත්නම් දැනන්නේ හොඳක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ, ධර්මයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ, වර්තමානයේ ගැන කතා කරන කල්යාණ මිත්‍රෙක් ගාව ගුටිකක හිතියක් කවන්නේ. මේ හිස් කතා එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියන මේ සම්ප්‍රප්තලාව කියන්නේම ඔය කොච්චර කාලවට්ටම් දාලා කිව්වොත් යර තියෙන්නේ කුණක්. තේරුමක් නැති දෙයක්. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට කනට උණු රත් වෙච්ච තෙල් ටිකක් වක් කරගන්න කොහොමද? පිච්චිලා නෑ. ඇහෙන්න එපා මේ වමකට. මේ වගේ නරක දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනකොට පේන්න එපා මට. මේ වගේ පශ්චාත්තාප මිනිස්සු නොදකි. ඒකයි ඔය කැලේකට යන්නේ වෙන හොනකට නෙමෙයි මිනිස්සු අර ඩීචේ කියලා දාර්ශනිකයෙක් හිටියා ඒ මනුස්සයා මේ ඔය කිව්වේ මේ සාන්දෘෂ්ටිකවාදී ගැන. මේක ගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ කියලා ලෝකේ. මේ මොන සංගීතකාරයා වෙන්නේ. මිනිහ හැමදාම ක්ලබ් එකට යනවලු පබ් එකට. කියලා සල්ලි ටිකක් මේසෙට තියලා වේටර් එන්න කියලා මොනවද බිල යනකොට සල්ලි ටික ආයෙ සක්කුවේ දාගෙන යනවලු. ඉතින් එකම වේටර්ලු මේ වැඩ කරන්නේ තිබු දවස් ගානක් ඉඳලා සර් ඇයි මේ සල්ලි ටිකක් තියලා ආපහු සක්කුවේ දාගෙන යන්නේ කියලා. මම මේ බලන්නේ මේ පබ් එකට ගලා තේරුමක් ඇති කතාවක් කරන මිනිහතුත් මේ සල්ලි ටික දෙන්න අවුරුදු ගානක් ආවත් කවුරුත් හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ කිව්වා. ඒ නිසා මම සක්කුවේ දාගෙන යනවා. මේ ලෝකේ කරන කතාව සේරම උච්චාරය. ඔගේ තියෙන වැරදිච්චා. ඒවයි තියෙන පෙරදිච්චා. බුදුජානන්සේ කතාව හැම වෙලාවෙම උනන්දු කරන සුළු කතාවක්. ප්‍රඥා වර්ධන කරන සුළු කතාවක්. ශ්‍රද්ධා වර්ධන කරන සතා මිස කවදාකවත් වැරදි ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. මේ අවිද්‍යාව ගැන සඳහන් කරලා වැඩි විස්තර කතා කරන්නේ. ශ්‍රද්ධාව ඇති කරන දේවල් කතා කරනවා මිස ශ්‍රද්ධාව නැති වෙන පැත්ත උපමාවට ගන්නවා විතරයි. ඒ නිසා බුදුජානන්සේගේ දුක්ඛ දතේ තමයි සත්‍යතා කරන්නේ. අනිත්‍ය දුක්ඛ අනාත්ම තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. නමුත් බුදුරජාණන්ගේ සාහිත්‍ය හරියට උනන්දු කරවන්සලයි. ඉතින් අපිට සෙනගක් එක්ක ඉඳලා මේ වැඩේ කවදාකවත් කරන්න බෑ. මොකද සෙනගගේ පුරුද්දම චරිචුරු තමයි. හරියට වැරදිච්ච මේ හරියට වැරදිච්ච පත්‍රය අරගෙන බලන්න ලෝකේ තියෙන ඔක්කොම වැරදිච්ච එකතු කරලා ඔක්කොම දවල් උදේ කෑමට පස්සේ ඩෝස් එක දෙනවා අපිට. උදේ පත්‍රේ. ඊට පස්සේ නිවුස් වලින් ලෝක වෙච්ච තියෙන කාම අපරාධ සියල්ල ඔක්කොම ගෙනල්ලා ටිකක් දෙනවා. ටෙලිවිෂන් එකෙන්, රේඩියෝ එකෙන් කරන්නේම අනේ සල්ලි දීලා කරගන්න දේවල්. ඒක නැත්තම් මිනිස්සුන්ට නොකාන ඔබ ඉන්න පුළුවන් පත්‍රය බලන්න තු ඉන්න බෑ. මොකද ඒ තරම් මේ කුණු ඩෝස් එක නැතුව අපිට දුවන්න බෑ මේ මැෂින් එක. ඒ ටෙලිවිෂන් එක බැලුවේ නැත්තම් අඩු ගන්න ප්‍රවෘත්ති ටික බැලුවේ නැත්තම් වැඩක් නැහැ. දැන් මේ ඉන්නකොට හරි අමාරු ඒකයි මේ ප්‍රවෘත්ති දන්නේ නැහැ. පුළුවන් නම් ටෙලිෆෝන් කෝල් එකක් අදාලා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ප්‍රවෘත්ති ටික. හරියට අර මාළුකට උමලකට දානවා වගේ ඒක අර කට ගැස්ම නැහැ. ඉන්නේ තියෙන්නම කෙලස්. ඒ නිසා අපේ ලොකු සාහස ලියලා තියෙනවා අසභ්‍ය ප්‍රවෘත්ති වලින් ගන්න ප්‍රවෘත්තිපත්‍ර අසලකටවත් නොගත යුතුයි. ඒකෙන් කරලා දෙනාට හැම දවසේ උපයගත්ත තේරම එකපාරට විනාශ කරලා දාන හෝස් කාලපත් වෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ මෙහෙම පත්තු කරන දේවල් තමයි. ඒ නිසා පුළුවන් තරම් බලන්න හිතවිලි එනවා. ඒ ආවට සැලෙන මනස තමයි ඒ හිතවිලි වලට පදනම සකස් කරන්නේ. හිතවිලි එන එක වළක්වන්න බෑ. ඒක ඉන්නේ අපේ න්‍යාය පත්‍රයට නෙවෙයි. නමුත් මේ අහක යන හිතවිලි වලට අඳින එක හතර මහ හිනාවලින් එකක්. හිනා වෙන එක, හිනා වෙන්නයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කනගාටු වෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. මේ හිත ඒ හිතවිලි නන්නොත් දොඩන නැත්නම් වෙන්න නම් අරමුණකට බැඳලා තියෙනවා. මධ්‍යස්ථ අරමුණට බැඳලා තියෙනවා. නැති හැම වෙලාවෙම මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ ඒක අදින්නෙම කුණටම තමයි. නරක හොඳ වෙන කෙනෙක් වගේ බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒ හිතවිලි මම කිරුවා කියලා පශ්චාත්තාප වෙන්නත් එපා. ඒක දාර්ශනික හිතවිල්ලක් කියලා ආඩම්බර වෙන්නත් එපා. මේ හිතට මේ හිතවිල්ල ආවා. ඒක තමයි බලන්නේ පිට කෙනෙක් වගේ. එතකොට පේන්න පටන් ගන්නවා මේ හිත කියන යන්ත්‍රේ ඇතිලා තියෙන නිතරම හිතවිලි හදන්න. හිතවිලි නැත්තම් යකායි කම්මල වගේ වැඩක් නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා ඒක දිහා බලහිට මම පේනවා මෙච්චර උදේ නවස නාවල කවල පොළ මගේ කියාගන්න ඉන්න හිත වැඩ කරන්නේ මගේ න්‍යාය පත්‍රයකද? කැළම නැත. සම්පූර්ණ වෙන න්‍යාය පත්‍රයක් තියෙනවා. අඩු ගන්න න්‍යාය පත්‍රය මොකද්ද කියලා හොඳයි. ඒක මොකදනේ තේරුම් ගන්නේ මරණ මොහොතේදී. ඉතින් ඒකකට මරණයට වැඩිය මරණයක් ඒක. භාවනා කරන යෝගාවචර මැරෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේක පෙන්නනවා. සමහරුන්ට ඒකත් මැරෙන්න තරම් බය හිතෙනවා. මේ හිත මේ තරම්ම තමන්ගේ සුභ සිද්ධියට නෙවෙයි වැඩ කරන්නේ. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ රජයේ දුප්පත් මිනිසුගේ ටැක්ස් අරගෙන ඒ ටැක්ස් ඒ මිනිස්සුම පාලනය කරන්න පොලිසියට ගෙවනවා. ඒ මිනිස්සුම පාලනය කරන්න ආයුධ හදනවා. ඒ මිනිස්සුම පාලනය කරන්න හමුදාවට යොමු කරනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ අර මිනිස්සුන්ට නීති දානවා. පොලිස් කාර්යයක් කොයි ඉන්නේ ඔය අක්කු අපෙන් කාලා ඉන්නේ. උඹ කොහෙද හැකියාවක් තියෙන අපිට ලාරම කරපම් මේක කරපම්. ඒක මතක් කරන මැෂින් අප දැනගන්නේ උඹට ගෙවන්නේ අපි කියලා. අපිට වෙන්නේ බයලා සලූට් එකක් ගන්න සමා වෙන්න කියන්නේ අපි යන්න හදන්නේ. උට කතා කරලා කියන්නේ ඔය නීති ක්‍රියාත්මක කරපන්. ඒකට කමන්නේ උඹ දැනගන්නේ උඹට ටැක්ස් ගෙවන්නේ අපි. උඹට පඩි ගෙවන්නේ අපි. උඹ ඕනේ නීතියක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. ඒක වෙනම දෙයක්. අපිට උඹට යට වෙන්න ඕනේ. අනේ මේ වගේ එන්නේ තමයි පව් කරන්නේ නැත්තම් දැන් දන්නවනම් ඒ කාටවත් හිටි ගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Taman පව් කරන්නේ නැතුව, වැරද්දක් කරන්නේ නැතුව ගහලා මරලා හිතේ දැම්මත් හිතේ කනගාට වෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. අපි දන්නවා. මගේ හිතේ වැරද්දක් කළා නැහැ කියලා. එමුනේ අපි වැරද්දක් කරලා පගාව කියලා කොච්චර බේරනත් හිත දන්නවනම් කෙරේ වැරද්දක් කියලා ආයෙත් වැඩි විසහාර තවීමක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකෙදි මතක තියාගන්න මේ හිත කියන එක මේ මොහොතක් නෑ රැල්ල නැතුව. ඒගේ හිතක් නෑ කවදාකවත් හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ.
ප්‍රශ්නයක් සක්මන් භාවනා කරන වෙලාවක ඒ වගේ සිතුවිල්ලක් ආවොත් ඒ සිතුවිල්ල නරක සිතුවිල්ල කියලා අපි ඒ ගැන හිතලා ඊට පස්සේ සාහන කරන්නේ සිතුවිල්ලක් කියලා ඒ ඔස්සේ සිතුවිල්ල යනකොට අපි අර එතකොට සිතෙන්ම මේ කාර්යය විදිහට සිතම මෙහෙවනවා නේද අපි අරමුණින් ඈඩ් කරන්නේ භාවනා අරමුණ.
ඔව්. කද්දේට නගන ප්‍රශ්නේ.
නගන ප්‍රශ්නේ දැන් එහෙම සිතුවිල්ලක් ආවොත් සමහරවිට දැන් මට ඒක වෙලා තියෙනවා මම දැන් මේ සිතුවිල්ලක් මට පුදුත් සිතුවිල්ලක් ආවා දැන් මේක මගේ භාවනාවට ඇති කරන්න මේ සිතුවිල්ල මේ සහනාත් මේව නෙවෙයි කියලා කිව්ලා ඊට පස්සේ වෙනම සිතුවිලි රටාවක් යනවා සෑම දුරක් යනවා ඒ යනකොට භාවනා අරමුණේ සිත ගිහිල්ලා ගන්නවා.
ඒකට ප්‍රශ්නේ තේරුන්නේ මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ එතකොට?
ඒ වගේ වෙලාවක මොකද කරන්නේ?
විතරනේ ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සක්මන් භාවනා කරනකොට හිතවිල්ලක් එනවා. ඒ හිතවිල්ල අරමුණට යන්න දෙන්නේ නැතුව හිතවිලි රසය දිගේ ගෙනියනවා. ඉතින් අපි ඒකට අහුවෙලා තියෙන අපේ අරමුණ ලාපාලු වෙලා හිතවිල්ල යනවා. එහෙමනම් කියනවා සක්මන් නතර කරලා හිත ගන්නයි කියලා. සක්මනක් කර කර හිතවිල්ල දෙන්න ගියොත් හිතවිල්ල ආබ ලබනවා. Tamanne පේනවා බේරන්න බැරි හිතවිලි රාශියක් එනවා සක්මනේ හිතගෙන මෙනේ කරන්න කියනවා හිතනවා. එතකොට අපි දන්නවා අර සක්මන් කරමින් හිතට නිසින්ින්ද යන්න දෙන්නේ වැඩ නතර කරනවා. නතර කළා කියනවා හිතනවා. ඒක ඉවර වෙනකන් ආයෙ සක්මන් කරන්න. ඒක ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ හිත කීකට වුණොත් තමයි සක්මන්ට යන්නේ. අනේ වගේ හිතවිලි අධිකව බහුල වෙන වෙලාවල් එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ හිතවිල්ලම අරමුණට යන්න දෙ නැතුව හිතවිලි රසයක් ඇති කරනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒක දිගේ යනවා. මොකද සමහරලාට යෝගාචර දැනගන්න පුළුවන් නෝ පාණයක් නැත්නම් தත්ත්ව පාණය කරගන්න බැන්න. ඒක තනම හිතවෙන. හිතන කර මෙනේ කරනවා. ඒකට පරණ අටුවා කතාවක් කියනවා. ඒ සංඝවංශනමක් පිරිසක ඉන්න සංඝවංශනමක් ඉන්නවා. අර පින්නපාති ගියාට පස්සේ ගමේ දකින්න දේවල් නිසා රාගෙ මතුවෙනවා. ඒ නිසා නොගිහින් බෑ. පින්නපාතේ යන්න ඕනේ. නමුත් ගියාට පස්සේ දකින්න රාගෙ නිසා හරි පෙලෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මොන සිවුරක් අඳගෙන පාත්‍ර බඩතුලේ සංගවාගෙන යනකොට තීරණ පටන් ගන්නවා අසවල් ගෙදර අසවල් දර්ශනය. අසවල් එකේ තියෙන මේවා දකින්නකොට මම ආපහු බත් කාලා ආවට මොකද දවස් 30ේම රාගෙ කියලා බඩතුලේ පාත්‍ර තියන්නේ වාඩි වෙලා බිම ඉඳ ගන්න. වැඩක් නැහැ මේ බත් කාලා වැඩක් නැහැ මොකද ඒකෙන් ඇති වෙන්නේම රාගෙ. ඒකට පිටිපස්සෙන් එන සංඝයා වහන්සේ දැනගන්නවා මේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේට තදබල විතක්යක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මේ ආත්මනුකම්පාවක් ඇතිලා වාඩි වෙන්න කියලා සඳහන් කරලා කියනවා ආශ්මතුනි මේ ජීවිතේ ජීවත් කරනවා කියන එක ආහාර ගවේෂණය කියලා කියන විශාල දුකක්. ඒ දුකට ගියාම පිස්සු ගල්ලෝ කාම දර්ශන ගොඩාක් මතුවෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒකදී යටත් වෙන එක නෙවෙයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ අපි ඒක හිත තනවා වඩාගෙන බත් නැතුව බෑනේ. ඒ නිසා අපි සක්මන්ට යන් කියලා අරහම් දුන්න ධෛර්යය දෙනවා. ධෛර්ය දුන්නාට පස්සේ යහම්ද්‍රෝ පින්නපාත කරගෙන යනවා. යන්නේ ඇතුළට නමාගත්ත හිතේ. අන්නේ ඉඳගැනිල්ලෙන් ඒකයි දර්ශනේ හිතන. ඉඳගැනින්න කරන්නේ මේක බත් කාලා වැඩන්නේ. මේ ගිහිල්ලා එන ගමනේ මම ගේනේ රාගයක්. කියලා වාඩි වෙනවා වගේ තමයි සක්නීදී අධික රාගයක් ද්වේෂයක් කාරණා ගමන් නැතර කරන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක නතර වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි අපි මේ කටයුත්ත කරන්නේ කියලා. So now occasionally we are changing to the singular. So I will give a briefing about his question is about casual thinking, inner thoughts, background thoughts. So he says that it is often disturbing him. Does that carry any kind of a weight towards the karma and karma results? Does it create any kind of a bad precipitations? So according to the Buddha, the karma, anything will become a karma if the intention is there. If there is no intention, there is no karma. So therefore, if it is happening, be aware of it, but don't worry it. The worrying is a karma. So be aware, and if it is possible, keep the alertness towards the thoughts, but don't worry. The worrying is the kind of a nivarana or hindrance, and if you are entertaining that, not due to the thinking, but due to the worrying, your stream of consciousness will be disturbed. So therefore, main thing is not to worry. And thoughts, it is natural thing, just like a waves in the sea, always happening. So if you wish to keep the mind away from the thought, occupy the mind with a neutral object and keep on noting. By keep on noting, you cut off the influx of the thoughts. And it is a kind of a mechanical method, but sometimes it is successful. The other thing is that don't claim these thoughts as me or mine or myself. You just consider it as something happening. Meanwhile, you are doing your walking meditation or sitting meditation. The day your mindfulness becomes very strong, you can see different layers. The main object is there still, you can see background thoughts. You can see they are called inner thoughts. Soon you are going to entertain them. The object disappear, object become inferior, and thought become trained thoughts and the chain thoughts, and the content going to happen. So therefore it's a matter of perspective. So you must understand both, and don't let the thoughts to take the upper hand and going to take the control about your stream of consciousness. And therefore you must understand, you must experience circumstances where your mind is well face-to-face with the object. For example, in breath and out breath or walking in breath, but still in the background you can feel thoughts. Understanding this background thoughts is very crucial in the vipassana meditation. Once you understand, you will see, if you are going to give a consent to them, they become priority. If you don't give any consent and disclaim them, disavow them, as to this is not me, this is not mine, and this is not myself, you will understand more than 95% of your thoughts are without a thinker, without an intention. But if you're going to worry about them, you have enough reason to worry. But instead, keep the mind occupied with the neutral object, note it, and meanwhile let the casual thoughts to come. But don't, main thing is not to worry, be aware of it. And there's one book known as Thought Without a Thinker, and that explain it and how much unknown people are worrying about these casual thoughts. So they are, according to the Burmese shadow, they also call background thoughts, inner thoughts, or thought without a thinker. So these things you must be separate with the intentional thinking. The moment you understand these two, of course it is a very, very challenging task, you will see most of our worries are imaginary. They are not based upon facts. So therefore, once you understand it, you will know the art of not to worry. How to not to worry. And unless otherwise, very difficult to maintain the stream of consciousness fairly in the pure form, because there are enough reasons for you to worry, but majority of the thoughts, majority of the events are the mind-made. And the second part is that he's asking, sometimes while you are meditating, very prolific magnetic thoughts are arising, and they are pulling you out and won't allow the mind to come back to the primary object and keep on proliferating there. So it's one phenomena he observed, and question is how to tackle that kind of question. Traditionally it says when you are in the walking meditation, if such thoughts are going to happen, you better stop walking and not thinking. So that means give the full attention to the thought, or even though it is not the main thing, main purpose of walking, and then observe how much it is magnetizing, how much it is distracting. Once it is come under control, only you consider back to go and do stepping and keeping the attention with the left and the right foot. So that is the way you have to understand it is magnanimity, also the magnetic nature of the thoughts, and separate it from your primary object.
So, answer, the Vedatakin Garu, the worries in the Sakari is that worries in the Johanna America, what are the maybe could do with them after the worries of the perfect of the
ඇත්තටම තණ්හා මාන දිට්ඨිය කියන තුනම තියෙනවා. දිට්ඨියම විතරක් නෙවෙයි මාන්නේ නිසා සිද්ධ වෙනවා. අල්ලපු ගෙදර තරහකාරයෙකු කුඩු ළමයා කුඩු බොනවනේ සතුටු. උන්ට වැඩේ කියලා වෙච්චාවයි. තමන්ගේ යාළුවාගේ දරුවා කුඩු බොනකොට කනගාටු වෙනවා මාන්නේ නිසා. ඊගාට තණ්හාව නිසා සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ වස්තු විනාශයක් වෙනවා, දරුවා නැති වෙනවා. මේ වගේ දේවල් ඒ නිසා ප්‍රධාන කර්ම මේ proliferation, sort mental proliferation, මේ තණ්හා මාන දිට්ඨිය තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ තුනම වංචනිකයි. ඒ තුනම වංචනිකයි. කවදාකවත් කවුරක්වත් හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ තණ්හා මාන දිට්ඨිය තේරෙන්නේ Taman වෙනුවෙන් උසාවියේ නඩුවට කතා කරන ගොඩ පෙරක දూరుවා. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ මාර්ගයේ පැත්තට. අපිට වෙන්නේ අපේ පැත්තට කතා කරනවා. ඒ නිසා තණ්හා මාන දිට්ඨිය වරදගත්තාම කියනවා හොරෙක් තමන්ගේ දරුවයි කියලා වරදවාගත්ත මිනිස්සුන්ට සිදුවෙන හානිය සිද්ධ වෙනවා. Maha වාසව අපි යම් කුඩු කාර්යයක් ඇවිල්ලි වල ගෙටරින් ගන්නවා. ඊට උන අනේ දරුවෝ නැති කෙනෙක් හිතා ගන්නවා අනේ මට දරුවෙක් හම්බුණා ඊට පම්පුතා මේක කියලා අපි ඌට කණ්ඩ දුන්නා. අන්තිමට මොකද කරන්නේ? මේ මිනිස්සයා ගෙදර තියෙන ඔක්කොම හොරකම් කරන්න යනවාසේ. අපි මෙතෙක් කල මේ තණ්හා මාන දිට්ඨි කියන තුන දරුවෝ වශයෙන් අපිට උදව් කරන ගොඩ පෙරක තුර වගේ සලකුවාට ඒක තන්නේ කර උදේ ඉඳලා හැන්ද වෙනකන් සේවය කරන්න කෙලෙස. මාරයට. ඒ නිසා අපිට ඒ හානිය උනාට කමන්නේ හානිය නෙමෙයි බලන්න ඕනේ මේ තණ්හාව මෙතන යටි නූලින් වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැටි. මාන්නේ යටි නූලින් වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැටි හේන් නූලින් දිට්ඨිය. වැඩ කරපු දවසේ ආයේ ඒක මේ නැදකින් කියන දෙයක් නැහැ. තේරෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා මයි ළඟ තියෙන තකතිරුකමක මහත. අපි මේව ගත්තේ මෙතෙක් කල මට කතා කරන පෙරක දෝරුවෙක් වගේ. මිත්‍රයෙක් වගේ බලන මිත්‍ර ප්‍රතිරූපකෙක්. ඉතින් ඒක තව කෙනෙකුට කිව්වොත් මෙයාට පෙන්න නෑ උඹලා ඔය වැඩ කරන තණ්හාව කියලා එයාගේ පර්සනැලිටි එකට විදේ. අපිට කෙනෙක් පෙන්නොත් එහෙනම් ඔය වැඩ කරන තණ්හාව කියලා අපි කැමති නෑ. නිසා බුදුරජාණන්සේ කන්නඩියක් අතර දීලා කියනවා ඕකෙන් බලපන් ඔන්න පේනවා ඔබට. ඔබම බලාගනි. මම පෙන්නන්න යන්නේ මම පෙන්නන්නේ කිව්වොත් යේසුස් වහන්සේට වගේ කුරුසෙත් තියලා අන ගන්නවා. ජෝර්ජ් සිස්ටර්ට වගේ වෙඩි තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ගිය කටේ තමයි කෙලව ගත්තේ. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කරේ කන්නඩියක් අතර දීලා කිව්වා ඕක බලපන්. ඔය පේන්නේ කාගේවත් උඹේම තණ්හාවම උඹේම දික්කේම උඹේම මානමයි කන්නඩිය තමයි සතිය කියන්නේ. කල්යාණ මිත්‍රයෙක්ට අපි කියනවා කන්නඩිය කියලා. සාස්ෘණ වහන්සේලාට අපි කියනවා කන්නඩිය කියලා. ඉතින් ගියාට පස්සේ තමන්ගේ කෙලස් ටික පේනවා. ඉතින් මේකට උඹ දෙනෙක් කැමති නැහැ. මම නම් හිතනවා ඒක සාධාරණයි කියලා. තමන් හොඳයි කියන්නේ ඉන්න මිනිහ භාවනා කරන්න කැමති නැහැ. මම හරි මම සුද්ධවන්තම පින්වන්තය කියනවාස ඒ මම කියන්නේ නන්දමාලිගේ සින්දුව කියනවා මට අරින්න මට දකින්න මගේ හීනේ. මම කියනවා හොඳ ඔය හීනේ බලන්න අපිට කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. සන්තෝෂ වෙන්න. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ මෙතන මේ තමන්ගේ තියෙන ජඩකම, තමන්ගේ තියෙන මාන්නේ, තමන්ගේ තියෙන තෘෂ්ණාව දැක ගන්න කැමති කෙනාට ඒකට උදව් කරන එක විතරයි. ඒ නිසා කවදාකවත් මේක ජන විඥානේ හැම දිනකටම අල්ලන දෙයක් වෙන්න බෑ. මොකද ඔක්කොටම ඕනේ මේ දවල් මිගිල් රැදනිය සෙල්ලම. කරන්න තියෙන ජඩකම් කරන්න ඕන ලෝකෙට පෙනී හිටින්න ඕනේ බොහොම සාන්තෝරයක් වාගේ. ඒ මේ රැවටිල්ලත් එක්ක විපස්සනා කරනවා. අපේ කල්යාණ මිත්‍යාශ්‍රය තියෙන්නේ අපිට අවුරුද්දකට පෙන්ලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා. අපේ මිත්‍රයෙකුට අදිසිය නෙමෙයි. බොයි කරන වැඩේ ඔබට පේන්නේ නැහැ. මට පේනවා මෙන්න මේ වගේ ඉන්ටෙන්ෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒකට යාට පුළුවන්කම තියෙන මේ මාස පෙන්වන්නට හදන්නේ මට අනින්න නෙවෙයි කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න. එහෙමනම් අපි කල්යාණ මිත්‍රයෝ කියනවා. ඒක නැත්තම් වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි නඩුවක් හදා ගන්නවා. හිත උලක් හදා ගන්නවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට එන හැම වොරි එකක්ම හැම ටෙන්ෂන් එකක්ම එන්නේ ඔය මුල් තුනේ. තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨිය කියන මුල් තුනේ. නමුත් අපිට වෙලාවක් නැහැ ඒව ඇනලයිස් කර කර ඉන්න. මොකද අපි තණ්හා දාසයි. වැඩිම තණ්හාවට ආහාර සපයන එක. මාන්නයට දාසකම් කරනවා. උදේ ඉඳලා හැන්ද වෙනකම් මාන්නේ වඩන්න ආහාර වෙනවා. දික්තියට දාසකම් කරනවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට මේ තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨියෙන් ඇති කරන හානිය දැක ගන්න වෙලාවක් නැහැ. ඒ කන්නාඩිය නෑ අපිට. අපිට පේන එක නාස්තිකයි වගේ. මේ මාසක්කාය දිට්ඨිය එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ මම වෙමි නැත්නම් මට හානි කරන පිට බාහිර කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා තව කෙනෙකුට දාන එක. ඒ ඔක්කොම සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ ආත්ම දෘෂ්ටිය විද්‍යාව හරහා. ඒ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කියනවා ඒක දකින්න විතර ජොලියක් මුළු මනුස්ස ජීවිතේම නැහැ කියලා. තමන්ගේ මාන්නේ, තමන්ගේ තණ්හාව, තමන්ගේ දික්තිය තමන්ම දකින්නකොට ඒක මේ හරි අපුලක් තමයි. ඒක හරියට කියනවනම් මේ බඩනක් කියලා වමන යන වෙලාව. වමනේ ගියගම ඔක්කොම ඉවරයිනේ. වක්කාරේ ගියේ නැත්තම් ඉතින් මේක තත කරගෙන බස් එකේ ඉන්නකොට ඒක දාගන්න විදියකුත් නැහැ. එහෙම ඉන්න ගියාම මේක මල අවුලක් නෙවෙන්නේ. ඒ වෙලාවට වක්කාරේ දාන්න හම්බෙච්චාම දකින්න හොඳ දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. නමුත් ඒක ගියාට පස්සේ එන සාන්තිය අපිට ගණන් උගන්නපු කිව්වේ මේ උඹ ඒ කතෝලික මිනිස්සේ. උඹලට ඔය දෙයයන් මොකද්ද නිවනක් කියලා කියනවා මට නම් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම කතෝලිකත් නෙවෙයි. මම දකින්නේ නිවන් දෙකයි ලෝකේ තියෙන්නේ. හොඳටම කක්කබර වෙච්චනම් කක්ක කරන තැනක් හම්බුනොත් අන්න එතෙන්දී හම් වෙන සාන්තිය නම් මට වළක්වන්න බෑ. මට හොඳටම තේරෙනවා. හොඳටම චූබරක් අහම චූ කරන තැනක් හම්බ වෙනවනම් ওই දෙක නම් මට හොඳටම චූ ඕක නම් නිවන. ඇඟේ තියෙන කුණායින් කරන්න හම්බ වෙච්චා. මට මතකයි මම ඉන්දියාවේ ගිහලා ෆලුඩා එකක් බීලා එක විනාඩි 5යි සූ ගාලා යන්න වටන් ගත්තා. ඒ වෙලාවට වැඩි කිලියක් ස්වර්ගයටත් එහා. ඇඟවත් හිතේ හරියට යන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් වීදියේ මැද මොනව කරන්නේ? ඒ වගේ කෙලස් ටික දැක්කට පස්සේ කෙලස් ටික අතහැරෙන වෙලාවේ ජරාවක් තමයි පිට වෙන්නේ. පුදුමාකාර සාන්තියක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ අපි මේ උදේ ඉඳලා හැන්දෑව වෙනකම් මේ තණ්හා මාන දිටි වඩන්න වැඩ කරන ගමන් ඒකෝගේ තියෙන නපුර ඒකෙන් අපිට පෙනී නොපෙනී කරන වංචනිකව සහ ඍජුව කරන හානිය දිහා දැක්කට පස්සේ ඒක සම්පූර්ණ හිතන මුළු ලෝකෙම නාටකමක් වගේ හීනයක් වගේ බිරිඟුවක් වගේ කොහොමද මිනිස්සයා කවදද මිනිස්සයා මේක තේරුම් ගන්නේ? තේරුම් ගත්තොත් කොහොම හිතේද මේ මිනිස්සයාගේ මේ ලෝකෙට දක්වන ආකල්පය ආර්ථිකයට දක්වන ආකල්පය දේශපාලන ආකල්ප කොහොම හිතේද කියලා හිතා ගන්න බෑ. එතකොට පුරුෂ ධම්ම සාර්ථි ගුණේ එනවා. ඒ මනස දමණය වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ බුදු ආමලෝ කින්දේ අහන්න බලන්න. එතකන් මේ අර පුතික් කියලා අඳුනගෙන තියෙන හොරෙක් තමයි. ඒ දේ දකින්නකොට ඒ දේ දැක්කට පස්සේ ඉතින් හැබෑ වෙනසක් වෙන්න පටන්
gonna. I have two requests. One to myself, or one to ask a question. I didn't have time to write a question. And the other one is for the nuns that we need the summary of the last night talks for them. Can I ask my question first? Or
as you like.
My question is this,
so it is unfair, you can ask in English, so that they also can understand.
But when I sit down to meditate, at the moment, I can sit there in 2 to 3 minutes. I get my breath disappearing, and I'm quite confident that even if it is disappeared, I can go on with breath. I can wait for it, and feel it all the way through. Sometimes, time to time, I feel the breath, the warmth, and I feel sometimes it's just coming back and forth again. And after a while, I get to the point, as I have already told you, sometimes back, to a place that I don't recognize anything. I just stop there. Quite a while ago, I thought that I'm falling asleep, sort of anesthetized or something like that. But it's not there. Now I'm quite aware that I'm there, but I just can't interpret it. So it's nothing that I see in the world. It's just everything is empty. Some sort of feeling. Sometimes I go there like that, and sometimes I go there. When I sit, I first see sort of, white flowers appearing and the sort of golden colors appearing, and I feel I'm lifted up and I'm floating in the air, and then I still get to the same place where I just don't understand anything, I can't interpret anything in terms of what I know. And I stay there happily. Now I don't feel like anesthetized as such. I understand that I'm living there, but it's actually, I'm happy there. So I don't know what I do next. That's my question.
So I will try to cooperate your question, and the yesterday's talk is almost related to the have interrelationship. So yesterday we were furthering the first discussion, that is how the feelings, how the contact leading to feeling, pasapaccha vedana, and first day we did some sort of up to a certain extent, and yesterday what I basically tried to convince or try to discuss was with respect to the two particular suttas, whenever the contact happens, unknown, uninstructed, unprepared person, this will be taken away by his own likings and dislikes and his personality traits, and therefore he has no control. Whenever the contact happens, it is taken away, and wandering mind can happen, daydreaming can happen, fantasizing can happen, and accordingly, more than the feeling arises, more than on the particular object he or she touch. Feeling happens according to the proliferation of thinking. So therefore, triggering or cursing, as a cursor, a contact happens. The person who do not know, he is not unprepared, get this contact, and upon that he starts proliferating. And upon that proliferation, number of different kind of feelings happen, and ultimately he attributes all the feeling to this particular contact, but it is not so. It is happening due to his own or his or her proliferation. Therefore, Mahalukya Buddha Sutta, it is appearing in the Samyutta Nikaya, Kanda Samyutta, and the Buddha says, when the thought happens, it's a thought, don't proliferate. When seeing happens, that is happening is just stop at that level, but the person who a seer, going to proliferate upon that, then only the accumulation of defilements and all the malevolent thing happen. So therefore stop seeing at seeing, just mere see, and stop at hearing as hearing, and stop at other tactile sensation, last smelling, tasting and touching, and thinking also stop at that level. So once that given, Venerable Malunke Buddha is reinterpreting the same thing to the Buddha. When if I got your message correctly, this is what I say. A person looking at a figure, a visual object, and not mindful. So when the unmindful person see a thing, Rupandiswa Sati Buddha, and he consider, what a nice thing I have seen, likewise he is going to attribute different values to what he see, either negative or positive. And accordingly he entertaining, his feeling arises more and more according to his own proliferation, and ultimately he will be dragged away, and so much of desire or hatred going to come. Just keep on doing, and therefore such a person never understand what is happening, and instead keep on taken away by the force of proliferation, and ultimately going away from the truth. But instead the person who is looking at, or if kind of a visual object impinge upon the person who is mindful, and still he see, but he go with the prepared mind, therefore he never entertain. Saratta Chitta is the kind of an entertaining mind. Viratta Chitta means he knows my job is to walk. I am on the walking meditation. And I see a bird, a flower, but he immediately comes, no, it's an obstacle and it's a weakness. So therefore, even though he see the figure, even though he get the basic feeling, he never in proliferating, never in entertaining it, he consider it as a burden. So such a person, even he is entertaining the feeling, even if he is warily with his touch, he is not defiled. He can come back to the primary object and maintain his primary object, and he moves towards the reality. So therefore, prepared mind is your security, it is your savior. Unprepared mind is the person always at danger. And second part of my yesterday thing was based upon the Madhupindika Sutta. In the Madhupindika Sutta, Buddha is giving 2 episodes, encounter with one Brahmana fellow, and second thing is reporting that to the monks, and Buddha is going to give his non-reactional attitude, but the monks don't understand. Monks can't understand what the Buddha is explaining. Buddha is merely explaining things can happen, but don't react. A reaction is the defilement. And ultimately all the monks are going to Venerable Maha. He is the best interpreter for the moment, and pleading, please Bhante explain, Buddha told something we can't understand. But ultimately he gave the mechanism, how the mind is working whenever seeing happen, whenever hearing happen, and there are a lot of places where you can gain the control. If you are unmindful, unprepared, it will take you for a ride. Instead, if you can aware, even at later stage or in one thought moment before, you can apply a brake or clutch. So therefore you must understand theoretically how it is happening. He says, Chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku vijnana, whenever the carnal eye in view with or avenue to a visual object, and if the consciousness comes and second it, then he becomes a seer. And the contact means the visual object, the sensitivity of the eye, and the eye consciousness. When these 3 comes, and if they are continuing to happen in thought moments, the feeling arises. Whenever feeling arises, the next immediate event is cognition or recognition or reification. This is a good one, this is a bad one, this I know, this I do not know, this is auspicious, this is non-auspicious, like it put into your past memory and you evaluate it, reify it, as whether it is a danger for your life or it is a kind of a game. It is called perception. And once a perception happens, you start to think about that. This I must proliferate. This I must get rid of. This is the good omen. This is the bad omen. Like mind is going to work upon that. And whenever this initial, the thinking mind happen, rather than the object, the mind start another momentum proliferating upon the thinking, and ultimately you will be overwhelmed by this mental proliferation, and you will end up with desire, conceit, or your ego run, and ultimately you are accumulating so much of defilements on the visual objects. Sometimes you are projecting your mind to the past, sometimes you are projecting to the future, or sometimes in the present moment other places, other people. So this is how it happens. So by explaining it, it says, soon you come to know, now my consciousness is in I, as a one point that you can be aware, I am a seer. And next moment the consciousness will go and help ear consciousness. There you become a listener. Next time you go and be a consciousness, go and help the touching sensation, then you will be a touching person. Likewise, you are changing your character by the consciousness. So therefore, each and every moment, soon you come to know you are seeing, not it as seeing. And if you are listening, not it as listening, so that you can tackle where the consciousness is. And that is very demanding job. So very difficult for you to do in day-to-day activities, unless otherwise you are master in mindfulness. But in sitting, when you are meditating, we'll say, for example, in-breath and out-breath, a sound can happen. Still, you wish to be with the breath, but the sound is becoming more prominent. Under such circumstances, you can just forget about the unprominent, distinct primary object, and instead you can go and note hearing. Or visual object you can consider seeing. Or other pains in the body, pain. Likewise, you can just tackle where the consciousness is running. It appears like no concentration, but I am assuring it's a very good, efficient mindfulness. And there you can understand consciousness have no agenda. Whatever you have your own agenda, it is not listening. So it's a first and foremost thing, you will understand consciousness is running by its own will. And it is never leading to Nibbana, never leading to the reality. It is leading to the samsaric birth and death. So therefore, first and foremost is practically tackling how swiftly consciousness is running. The Buddha says, even you can't give an example or epithet, how swiftly it is changing. Or otherwise, due to this movement of the consciousness, you start to feel good and the bad. And that also you can note. Now I feel good, or manapang, amanapang, desirable, undesirable. That also one thing you can keep on observing. And then upon that desirability and undesirability, mental proliferation start. Then you are off the ground. You are never touching the thing. You are now in the completely on the mind-made world. And there also you can understand how much the mind is gathering the momentum and lifting you above from the direct touch under the nose experience. All these 3 points you can apply the mindfulness, and as a beginner you will only tackle once it is become defiled, one is become uncontrollable level. But even then, if you can tackle it, even tackle at the tail end, it is good, because more and more you practicing, you can develop the skill not to let that much of defiling to take place. Before becoming up to that much, you can apply the brakes, you can apply the mindfulness, and that is how you bring back the negligence, converting into the diligence, and tackle it as soon as possible, according to the example, not letting that tree to grow and chop it by the axe. You can nip it at the bud level. So that, for that also, you must understand how the mind, it is called cognitive series works. First you learn theory and then apply it with the deductive knowledge, and third time when you are doing it with the mindfulness, slowly you can understand. That is how you can see whenever the touching happen, feeling going to happen. Whenever the touching is, the touch is ceases to exist, the feelings going to, feeling going to ceases to exist. That is what she wanted to relate when she is confined her meditation to the breath. Touch of the breath. Touch of the breath confirm you, the other touching sensations are cut off. You can't make a declaration that my mind is face to face with the breath if it is distracted otherwise. So therefore, first and foremost, you align your mind, stream of consciousness with the breath. That indicates you are getting the touch only with the breath. And when that breath is associating, familiarizing, that touch also slowly becomes subtle, ultimately subtlest. And there you go to a sphere, no feelings. You can't feel the self. You can't at least feel in and out. You can't at least feel the time. You can't at least feel the space. And sometimes mind misunderstand it as a sleepiness or slumber or sloth and torpor. And that is what happened at the early now stages. She can be aware, awakening into this space, and more you go there, you are in a frictionless area, boundless area, but you can't put into words. And that indicates you can start with one particular kind of a touch, observe it again and again, more familiarity with that particular touch, ultimately leading to the subtlety and ultimately leading to the unperceivable subtle state where no feelings happen. So that indicates this link between the touch and the feeling. You can monitor, you can take it under control, and that is a very good achievement regarding the cause and effect relationship, because if you are not training under such circumstances, each and every feeling is going to give each and every touch going to give a feeling. But in the meditation you can prove certain kind of touches you can master and reduce to nothing, and ultimately feelings also reduce to nothing. And if this is happening, the answer or the encouragement is, please try to experience it in walking meditation also. In walking also you can get that solitude. Once you season into the walking, after 40-45 minutes, everything happening, autopiloting, and you can observe it, still entertain the solitude, still entertain the freedom, while observing everything and without getting involved into that. And ultimately same thing you can apply into the day-to-day activities also. Likewise, once you understand this so-called feeling-less state in sitting, you have to develop into the walking meditation and the day-to-day activities. Ultimately, you can see whatever the stimuli and the impingements are there, by mastering, you can take them under control. So therefore, you will not make complaints with the external world, telling they are disturbing me and worrying me. Instead, you will understand disturbance and worry are only due to your untrained mind, unmindful mind, negligent mind, unawareness. So therefore, once the awareness, diligence and the mindfulness happens, the situation slowly coming under control. You can cut off this vicious cycle. Many links are there, but for the moment we are talking about the relationship between the contact and the feelings. So that is what the answer for both the question. One first thing the question, second thing is the translation. So I doubt whether I have done a perfect job, but I try to give the gist of the meaning.
I think my other question now is actually...
Oh, you are to ask another case because you asked only for 2, now it's finished. Anyway, you can apply another case. Yeah.
The next question is actually when I experience that sort of thing, sometimes I try to bring it to my day-to-day life. I experience it living with other people at work and all that, and I say that when things try to disturb me, but I say this is not the reality is actually where I was in meditation. I don't want to worry about these things, but it doesn't work that way. So there is a conflict actually. So what I experience in meditation, and that freedom and that joy. So I see the life feeling useless, living in the normal life. So there is a conflict in my mind now. Do I want to work? Do I want to see?
So when I was meditating and I am doing my full-time job, I also had the same friction. But I never complained because I never show any person that I am meditating. I was a full-fledged sentient being. I am fighting and all the kind of thing, but I am observing myself as a joker. Some people come and having argument, I am arguing vehemently. And then I know internally I am doing something for the sake of experimenting. So therefore I am laughing at myself. I never laugh at the other person. I think they are sentient people, they can react. And I am also reacting, but I always excusing me, sympathizing me, but I never claim myself as a meditator. So therefore, whatever the difficulty happened, I put myself, just jump into the deep water and see how it performs. I never find the fault with the outside. I think outside world is perfect. Only I can't fit. And I am not taking as a Buddhist step also. I try to be a human, try to understand, try to be mindful. And I am doing enormous mistakes. No problem. I am sympathizing it and using them for the next event, not to do that much of mistakes. That is how you learn it. Therefore, unless otherwise you apply it to the day-to-day life, your meditation is useless. That is why my measurement is, so you can develop in the meditation called atmosphere. But you must have the ability to put it into the day-to-day life in your own small way. More and more you apply, you develop ways and means to do least amount of mistakes. Don't try to be smart. First thing is to not to commit mistakes. First, do no harm. So, and even if you are doing any harm, sympathize yourself. If the other one is hurt, go and apologize. Tell, I am sorry, at that time I lost my temper. So if I hurt you, please forgive me. And when you are going on, it's action-packed life. So you have to read, there's a one book known as Full Catastrophic Life by John Kabat-Zinn. It's a master of mindfulness, full catastrophic living. Life must be full of catastrophe. Then you must understand they are happening according to cause and effect. You take a distance view and observe, you also part and parcel of the same game. And you can see how you are committing mistakes, how you be smart in that, and you are non-judgmental. Observe it. So you are nothing to pay for teledramas. You can see your whole teledrama. Whole morning to evening it is a teledrama. So that is how I live 6 years in a full dynamic Norwegian company. Ultimately I became the chief executive. I joined this as a junior production manager. And throughout, so much of promotions, so much of appreciation, so much of fringe benefits. But I know, only thing I have to maximize is the mindfulness. And everyone admiring, how can I tackle it? Because at that time my English was horrible. And wherever I go, I make problems for the people, fighting. Ultimately, they got shaped up. Slowly, of course, there's a lot of true friends were there for me to go and discuss. And I openly tell them, this is what happened. And most of them told, I am skillful in jobs, but I am not tactful in handling people. But I think now I am tactful also. Otherwise, I can't work with them. Very difficult characters. So this is the way. Put them into the practice. Whenever something, friction happens, you have to understand, yeah, you have something to learn. If there is no friction, it's useless. That event is useless. When there is a friction, when there is a difficulty, to understand, this is the lesson. You have to understand that is the teacher. Put into the action replay slow motion. Go back to it with your mindfulness and see what happened really. Now I had for example, I had a conflict with her. So now I am regretting. So I go back and see, go back to that event with your memory and see what happened. Action replay and put it in the slow motion. You know, in cricket, when a mistake happens, they say they kick the clip and put into the action replay slow motion. And no judge is necessary. Everyone can see. But to the emotional mind, any judgment, no judge can do a good judgment. So you must put it back and see yourself, how it performs. But don't try to assume or don't try to think that you are perfect. To understand, I am an utter idiot, utter fool. And with that understanding, if you see, no other person also not different than that. They are also fools, they are also idiots, why not? So that we can sympathize each other. No one can take the upper hand. Because everyone are in the same boat. Only thing happen if you are going to assume you as a meditator. If you are going to assume I am a spiritual being. If you are going to say I am a better person. That is the beginning of the question. No, to understand you are just another grain of sand in the sand bed. Each and every grain is equal. So you will get the full membership in the sand bed. You are nothing special. Ananta aluka ganga nibbuddha. Ananta nibbuddha jina. Yeah, there's one kind of thing that in the Ganges river, a lot of sand pits and innumerable amount of sands, grains. You are yet another one. Try to be yet another one. Don't try to claim that I am a precept holder, I am a donor, I am an organizer. She is maybe more happy with that to tell that she is organizing. I don't care. I don't care. And whenever you are going to assume, you are asking for troubles. Unassuming way, no one can prick you. Unassuming, non-reaction, and agreeing with the team, they are the shock absorbers. You must have 4 shock absorbers in your vehicle. Otherwise, the journey is very difficult. The shock absorbers absorb everything, never give the shock to the passengers. Likewise, unassuming nature can absorb any amount, but never give the shock. Or non-reaction, you can assume any amount of shocks, but you are not giving back. And agreeing with whatever be the society you are there, never going to make any fuss. What you say that everyone is, what is the majority idea? I am with that. That's it. But you are not going to be with that society daily or long. Soon you have the chance to go out. And wherever you go, try to fit into that society. It is the way that Zen Buddhists are telling that you must be like water. When you pour into a vessel, it takes the shape of the vessel. It goes to the bottom. Keep the surface level. No one can dislocate it. Because that's the nature. Wherever you go to the bottom level, bottommost level, and keep the upper layer flat. Very easy to tell. But when you are practicing, your ego, your conceit, and your desire is like pricks hacking you, and feel like you are non-like animal. Huh? Timid. I think not timid. Non-jalaya, even at yeah, the people say that you are not smart enough and you are idiot and you are fool and you are out of the place like that. And that is very good than kilesas. That blame is very good than kilesas. Everyone will kick you off and you are, we call the citizen zone. You are just a citizen zone. You are no one, no city-bitties in singular. Assume the citizen zone state. You will not be more than any superior. Then that becomes your art of living. And inside you have the full vigilance, full diligence and mindful as much as possible, but non-judgmental. When you are judging whether I am successful, the other party is defeated, or I am defeated, other party is successful, no. That non-judgmental idea of choicelessness, and that is being attributed to the mindfulness only by the Westerners, but the Asiatic culture still yet to understand the power of mindfulness. It has so much of attributes. Ultimately, it leads to equanimity, the equipoised mind, and unshakable mind, or that is called Taoism, or yeah, unirritating, unshakable mind. Of course, for the moment we are not, but we are looking forward that each and every friction is a lesson. Each and every fight, calamity is a teacher. So don't throw them away as a defeat or as a mishap or as a lack of precepts, nothing. But they are the teachers. So it can happen. I will assure you, even you become an arahant, you can be a friction, you can be a problem to the society. Can't help. The society is not enlightened. That is why the Buddha says, I never make any confrontation or fighting with the world, but the world will never fighting with me, even after the enlightenment. So therefore, many people have their own ideas, their own opinions, never mind. Main thing is not to worry. Keep your stream of consciousness clear. And if something happened, go back and analyze it and see. If you can't, it is lack of mindfulness, nothing else. So try to be mindful equally in the good opportunities and the bad opportunities. And the mindfulness is such a thing. For example, if you are completely angry, if you are completely lost your temper, but mindfulness has its own space to know I am angry. Anger can't brush it off mindfulness. Never. Never. And you are full of desire, full of under control of the grip of the desire. Still you can be aware that I am under the grip of the desire. So that indicates 99% of the desire can't destroy the 1% of mindfulness. That you have to believe the mindfulness, not the 99% of the desire. So that is why the Buddha says the good qualities, the Buddha says that skillfulness is so powerful, even the huge amount of unskillfulness can't brush it off. So mindfulness stands to tell you, now you are angry, now you are in a desire, now you are in a bewilderment, now you are in the jealousy, now you are in the envious. So without that you become envy. How can you understand the first-hand characteristic of the envious nature? Not by the outsiders, not by the yesterday envy, not by the tomorrow. It must be under the red-handed. Still, don't lose the sight of mindfulness. Very easy to tell, but very difficult to put into practice.
But is it possible to drive a car with mindfulness?
It
Like 40 minutes drive.
It says that is why monks are not being allowed to take driving license. It's a huge issue in Sri Lanka. The monks are not given. But then the monks who have gone outside the Sri Lanka, they are driving. Because it says that so much of things are happening. I think the monks are the best drivers. It is a separate issue. But maybe a good driver, but lack of mindfulness. So that is why the equipment and some kind of thing, Buddha says, don't get entangled, don't get engaged with, because that your perspective will be different. So therefore, do walking as much as possible. If someone give a lift, can go if you like. Otherwise, walking. All these equipments make the man and as an animal. The science is killing you. Because you're pressing the button, you get it, everything. You lose the mind connections, and the brain circuits all become numbed, all become anesthetized. Because you are doing the daily the same thing, you become like a robot. So therefore, if you wish to live, go to forest, just like a Girl Guide, or like a Boy Scout, impromptu, improvisation, be alert, be prepared. That is the full life. That is why the Buddha says, Aranyagatuva, Rukkhamulagatuva, Sunyagaragatava. Otherwise, if you are going to live in the full sophistication, you are almost like a corpse, dead. That is not the security. Ultimately, at the deathbed, and with the whole challenge and desperate death, complete disappointment. But instead, live in the open challenges, and therefore all your brain is ever working. All the unused circuits are ready to use. But when you are living in such a mechanical life, only less than 2% of your brain is working. 98% of your brain is brand new, unused. And politicians, 100% brand new. They never use it. They use the secretary's brain. So therefore, make you the full bloom. This thing, it happened with the new challenges. The new moment is fresh. Don't expect it to be something. You try your best to fit into the next moment, and therefore the brain has to run in the full capacity. That is what you call enlightenment, not that living in the control situation, pressing buttons and kind of thing.
And when we know that the best thing to do is to go into the forest and to sit in a hut or at the root of a tree,
Yeah.
But then for some reasons we do other things.
Due to your past karma, your bad karma. Simple.
So when we understand that these things are not beneficial for us, say in direction of enlightenment, where one would be inclined to maybe, but like following through with what we have agreed upon or what we have been thrown into, would that be wearing off the karma then?
Only the key is, now you are in an unfortunate situation, that is not the best. Of course, as you mentioned, maybe it is you are paying off for the past karma. But as a yogi, your prime responsibility is don't make new karma under such circumstances. That is what Vipassana is. You are now in agony. That is not your wish. There is something happening. So mind is sick. Don't make decisions. Any decision you make under that the disturbed situation leading to bad destination. So best thing is, first thing no harm, first do no harm, sabbapapa sakarna. Whenever you do something, don't try to be skillful, don't try to be meritorious, try to not to do harm. That must be your leading characteristic. So that means not letting the new karma to arise. Because under the troubled water, mind can rush into the wrong decision. Ultimately, you have to suffer. People are causing, that is sure. But you are the only savior for your future. So now is the best challenge for you. You understand, now present situation, it is the past karma. Now is full-fledged blooming, and you are in such agony. And people will come and say, take that decision, quick, hurry up. And to understand, mind you, I have to take care about my future. So therefore, my main thing is not to get rushing decisions and make no harm. So that is why Buddha says, Sabba Papa Sakarana, Kusala Sopa Sampada, Sachitta Pariyodapana, Itam Buddhana Sasana. It is not the Gautama the Buddha's advice. He says, all the Buddhas, the history, this thing was telling the same thing. People are put into test. And under such situation, your main theme must be not to commit harm, not to commit mistakes. But that part of our Theravada tradition is being eroded off. We are now being trained to do meritorious things, skillful things, and responsibilities and feeling and patriotic feelings. They are more poisonous and more addiction than marijuana. That is why the Karl Marx told all the religion is nothing but addicts and drugs. But we must understand. You know, due to past karma it is happening. Now I must make a, relaxed decision. My main task must be not to commit new karma. So Arthur Schopenhauer is a German, I think. Arthur Schopenhauer. Yeah. He told, each and every will is evil. Each and every will is ill will. So make your stream of consciousness no will, no expectation, nothing, ready to accept what is happening. So at the stage in your meditating experience, advancement, you have to understand up to this point, yes, you have to take a decision to become a nun, you have to take a decision to go to the forest, you have to take a decision to establish mindfulness, you have to take a decision to develop concentration. Once the concentration and mindfulness come up to a certain level, you must trust that concentration and the mindfulness, ask that concentration and mindfulness to take the lead. Don't push, don't implement your will, your intentions, your volitional activities, your future plan. Surrender everything, let the mindfulness to run. What I am called is putting the machine under autopilot. Their ego has to surrender. Your conceit has to surrender. Your desire has to surrender. It's a conscious decision, of course. So therefore, one Trungpa, who is one of the brilliant person went to America, he told, each appointment is ending up with a disappointment. So therefore, why don't have an appointment with disappointment? It will never get disappointed. Best thing is to have an appointment with the disappointment. You have to understand next moment is utter disappointment. It's a new appointment. Don't have any kind of assurance for the next moment. Anything can happen. You must be like a girl guide, like a boy scout. Be prepared. You know, that is what the Sir Ben Powell told. First thing and the foremost for the scouts are, be prepared. Buddha mentioned, mindful, apamada in the bhikkhave sampadi. So that is evaluation. That's the evaluation for your life. If you are evaluating towards that, you will understand day-to-day challenges, mishaps are golden rules and teachers, living Buddha, for you to put into them and make no more commitments, no more intentional decisions. Let the thing happen, let the unwind, and behave in such a way you are just a grain in the sand bed, nothing special. Don't tell him. People will be very happy to put you posts and designations and put you up on the pedestal and whitewash. It is not for your benefit. They are putting it for what? Their own benefit. When the Jesus Christ was asked to take the decision about the fair distribution of properties among the two brothers, the younger brother who had the unfair decision, he went and asked Jesus, "Oh Son of God, my elder brother is going to claim everything. Why don't you take this case and give a fair judgment?" He said, "Who appointed me as a lawyer? You appoint because you want to get a favorable decision." You see, everyone put garlands to us for what? You think that they have the real honor for us? No. They are putting garlands to get the job done. Once the job done, whether your head is chop it off, never mind. But their job is done. So world is such. Therefore be ready, just like a baby. Prepare for the next moment. No preconceived ideas, no expectation, and you try your best to fit into that situation, but not to commit newcomer. Hard job. Hard job. No, equanimity is the end result of that. This is something practical. This is something pragmatic. This is called apannaka patipada, samichi patipada, arana patipada, non-reaction. Aviruddha Pratipada. Aviruddha means non-reaction. But we are such fellows reacting like anything and committing so much, ultimately accumulating so much of unwanted karmic forces. So our future will be worst. So therefore, take a piece of paper, pure white, no diagrams. Keep it as white as possible. Don't draw anything. Next moment also white paper. Another moment also white paper. Another moment also white paper. No planning, no implementation, no will, no wish, no volition. There you are. So when the problem arises, to keep such a stream of consciousness, what is the motivation? You can't answer. With what motivation you expect the next moment to be blank? We are motivated by motivation theory. Benefit and the punishment. But when you are leveling off this thing, ultimately you end up with what make you to take that decision not to react. How can you keep this decision to the each and every thought moment? You can understand. Buddha says it's unhuman. Person who can do such a way of life, he says not only the Devas, even the Brahmas are pay respect. Because no one can understand why such a person is taking this kind of a life. No one can understand, no one can gauge it. Even that particular person can't gauge it. Because no one can justify, no one can see with what is the motivation for that person to take this spiritual life. As far as there is a motivation, it is filthy. As far as there is a will, ill will. As far as there is a will, evil. So that same idea brought forward by the Friedrich Nietzsche. And they were the very first people introduced this anatta, non-governability. It is the West psychology, philosophy. And they were kicked off telling they are nihilistic. They were not productive, not innovative. But Atishovan now is the first person to read the Buddhist books ever in the West. Hard task. But possible. Difficult but possible. And that's the maximum you can do for the benefit of the sasana.
You sacrifice all that for what purpose? That is for Nibbana.
So if you crystallize the Nibbana, yes, but the Nibbana is not a thing. You can't crystallize it. The Nibbana, you can't figure it out. What you are figure it out is just mind-made vomit. When you go to the Nibbana, that is not the Nibbana. Never.
So, the end of suffering.
That you can say. That end of suffering means now you are going to face a calamity or difficult situation. End of suffering is don't react. Don't commit. This is happening due to your past karma, but upon that, don't create new karma. You are perfect. You are arahant. You are in nibbana. You are in equanimity. You are in equipoise mind. Your mind is unshaken. And many think it is impossible, but I am telling possible. But you can't justify it. Your ego is not justifying it. Your conceit is not justifying it. Your desire is not justifying it. But leave aside that, but we can. That is why the Patachara, he was desperate. All the properties and everything gone, even no clothes. Come into the audience, the Buddha says, sister, be mindful, that's it. She became mindful. She was naked. It is no problem for her to be mindful. All the children gone, husband gone, father and mother, everything gone, her reputation gone. Be mindful. That is Buddha directly addressed to her. All the other people were very upset to see such a young girl, young woman, coming naked, mad, to the society, to the audience, with his sister. Be mindful. Possible. Even the Angulimala, it happens. When he's chasing behind the sword, the Buddha told, hey, I stop. If possible, stop. And Angulimala found that the person is going faster than my run. Still he says, I am stopped. He is challenging me to be stopped. He lost his arms. And so he found that if I need, I can stop. If I need, I can make a big how by killing Buddha. There are the breaks are there. Each and every moment there is a break. Some people get it the electric way, quick way. Some people learn it very slowly. Nowadays you find many people developing in a slow manner. But when the thing happen, they happen electric. Each and every knowledge, each and every understanding is electric. They won't show any color one thought moment before. Just like a lightning in the sky. Lightning won't show any color, any sign before lightning. No sign after lightning. Lightning also split second. So you have to observe while it is lightning. Like that you have to be very alert. Main thing is not to commit and let this event pass without your smearing, your conceit, your desire, your egoistic, and then it won't have any backlash. So what is happening is you are wearing and tearing off your past karma.
Excuse me. Yeah, this right effort fitting to what you said just
Right effort is fitting up to the point you come to develop mindfulness and the concentration. Enormous energy, enormous effort. And the second part is just let the Dhamma to work and withdraw. That's also kind of effort that is called effort with wisdom. Paripurna Vidya, that is now is fulfilling, you withdraw yourself and let the Dhamma to work. And it's also an effort to not to effort, not to make an effort. And that is the real Samma Vaya. It is like when you are in the pole vault, you have to use the pole to go to the peak. At the peak you have to throw the pole. Otherwise what happens? You will never win the villain. You throw the jettisoning the pole and go to the peak and throw the pole. With the jump only you run, topple over the bar. Otherwise if the pole is going to tap the bar, you are not going to be the winner. So that throwing, the very thing helps you to come up to that moment. It's not justified in the natural normal society. It's called that back-legged. So much, the pole is so much helpful you to go to the peak. But at the peak moment you have to throw it away. Otherwise you won't be a successful pole vaulter. Very radical. Now we have taken 15 minutes more than we scheduled.
Yes, you mentioned about not to commit any more karma. What about the kusala karma? Like, please sometimes.
So if you wish to do kusala karma, you can go to the heaven and be there. If you put some vegetable into the fridge and deep freeze and lock it, vegetable will be there long time. Like when you go to the Brahma world, it is like a vegetable in the deep freezer. You can live long. No problem, if you wish. It is more than the death. All the kusala karma is extending your life, the sansara.
But then again, even to come to a retreat like this, we should have previous kusala karma.
Yeah.
So that's benefit.
So I have to explain the good and the better and the best. Due to your goodness only you come here. And now you have the good and the better. Still if you say, I am the good make me to come here, therefore I never forego good. If I forego the better, but still I adhere to the good. You have to forego the better. But the Buddha says, the good people get the better. When you see the better, throw away the good and go to the better. Otherwise you are stagnated. So yesterday's goodness, today is bad. Otherwise you can't go to the better. When you go to the better, better become good. Still another better you have. And then you throw away that one. That is why it is very radical. It is like the Saturn V rocket. It's burning so much of fuel through push-off. And then ultimately one by one, the fuel tank has to throw away. So that is a very valuable thing. But you can't go with that to the moon. When you go to the moon, you go only with the very subtle, very little one. All the other has to be dropped away. But what we do is, due to its antique value, we try to keep the whole fuel tank. It becomes an utter burden or little shuttle to go to the moon. You have to throw them away. Most difficult thing is to throw away your kusala or your good things. Good things are doing equal bad if you are attached. Very difficult. The traditional Buddhists are burdened with these ideas and their own accumulated kusala. So, Vilanguwata මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? Vilanguwa?
Your chains.
Yeah, they become your own chains, your own burden. So therefore, you don't know how to use the kusala. You become a slave to kusala. You do good thing and forget about it. Good thing and forget about it. Never claim them. Even what the bad thing happened, forget about it.
Then Sadhguru, some say that if you think about your meritorious things on and on, it will grow. And if you do the bad things and if you think about it, it also grows. Is it true?
Definitely, you think about the good in order to get rid of the bad. That is the purpose of thinking of good, no more than that. But if you get the better, equally you have to throw away the good in order to claim the better. So it's idam nissa idam pajahata. You have to throw away that. With respect to that, you throw away this. And that also you have to understand it is also better to be thrown away tomorrow. So likewise, you have the utility value. No any eternal value. No any nirapeksha absolute value. Nothing in the world have any absolute value. Everything has relative theory. That is why Einstein became a big man. The relativity theory. Buddha mentioned 2,600 years ago. Still Einstein yet to understand. Sorry, the fellow died. The Buddha is much, much smarter than Einstein. And Einstein will get the Nobel Prize and the Templeton Prize and the Magsaysay Prize. But what the prize we can't give to the Buddha? No. Because if you wish to give a prize to another person, you must be better. There's no better person than Buddha to give a prize. So when you are practicing it, when you are developing the mindfulness, you understand the relative value, pragmatic value, practical value of everything, but nothing to behold, nothing to put into a casket and pay respect. You become slave. Each and everything must be a ladder to push you up and go on there, you throw away. It is not unkind or kind of quality, but that is the way the Buddha is explaining. You better read the Phalayatana Vibhanga Sutta.
Sometimes people say when you do it like this that you are very egoistic, but you just see the next step where you should go and leave the rest behind and they call you this.
I'll tell you, people, those who are calling you egoistic are the people you admired, you loved. So Buddha says, all the lovable beings are going to end up with suffering. The normal beings, they're not relevant to you, never come and claim such thing. Non-unseen beings never come and say, don't do that, you are selfish kind of thing. Those people you valued, your inner circle are the people become burden. Inner circle. It's a universal truth. Otherwise people can't come and influence you. With their distance. Pimato jayati soko, tannaya jayati soko. Have you heard about in Dhammapada? Whatever you desired ultimately will become your own burden. That is why the Schopenhauer told any will is evil. So it is very, appear like very negative and destructive, but that is the truth. It's a bitter truth. So don't show it. But use this as an antidote. When the mishap happens, don't express it. Don't try to use it as a weapon. But get an explanation for whenever bad thing happens. Any bad thing happens to you is due to your desired one. Desired properties. You are too loved. Tannaya jayati soko, tannaya jayati bhayam, piyato jayati soko, piyato jayati bhayam. So therefore the Buddha says, piya pahuta kalavivanda. Any calamity, any fight, any protest is due to desire. So you are committed, already committed. You can't find fault with them because you made them so due to your attraction. That is why they have a saying. But I am telling not to find fault with them. Understand how they are working in the vicious way. Entangle each other. And when you understand, you understand the human mind. You understand the existence. You understand the samsara. You understand the profound teaching of the Buddha. And you see how difficult, how much you have to get rid of the egoistic idea. How much you have to get rid of the conceit. How much you have to get rid of the desire to understand such a philosophy, such an idea. And once you understood, you are not the same person. Definitely you will be another person. You evolved. Evolving into the least frictional path. And ultimately you are ending up with less and less encountering, less and less friction. But still you are living in the world. But ultimately people will push you off. You become useless to the society. They will ask, get out. You have to say, I'm sorry, what is the mistake I did, like you plead, but happily you go tata. Go out. These are the most classic things in the world, classic writings, classic poems, classic utterance. So that is why the Buddha is such an artist. He has written into the very decent words. He has presented it into the complete grammatical way. He has presented with the existing words. That is communicating something unexplainable. And evolving the person. Or giving the person the way out. Not to come into the vicious circle. Okay, now 25 minutes extra. You have to pay for overtime.
Yes, one day. Just 2 more minutes of your moving time. I'm going to say that I'm going to offer our Bhante with all the respect, all the love that all we have. As our Bhante is our Priyamita. He has marked another milestone in his life 2 days ago. And we all are offering this little book. It's a Dhamma book, which I promised him as our respect and love from all of us. And we wish him all the best and all the long life for the Sasanic Seva.
They would say, sadhu, meanwhile I am telling that if anything you have to offer, wait till the last day, otherwise it will be a big issue to offer it after each and every Dhamma talk, and it is not nice. So keep all the things. The last day we have a separate party, going down party, and they are but for the moment I offer, I accept it, thank you very much. And otherwise that we are disturbing our yogic kind of thinking. So maintain it, simply mind your own business, and be mindful as much as possible, and ultimately make use the maximum of this time. And don't think that when you go back home and kind of thing, you will get such a precious time. So what I'm sharing as much as is possible is may not be sweet in taste, a little bitter, but you can't deny. You can't deny, and you can't find many people talking directly on these kind of subjects. They wanted to have a sugar-coated pills. But ultimately, beyond the sugar coating, you have to have the medicine. But get rid of the sugar coating and try to get it. And I think we have enough merits, we have enough skills, we have enough opportunities, and that is the most required, requested or necessary for the time being for the sasana. Thank you very much for the participation.